Hi, I'm Slightly Bitter from Dylan Rants,
And I'm Queen from Set the Record Straight.
and
And this
this
is
is
an
an OGBG
OGBG
recap.
recap.
All right, hey guys, what's up? It's Dylan740 from season 1, and I am here with.
Queen 817. All right, top 10, you dig.
So, we are here to break down each episode of season 2 of Beast Games, Smart versus Strong, and who better
hmm
to do it than two people that lived out the first season and someone that came this close to winning $10 million.
Yeah, dreams and wishes. That's what they are now.
So speaking of Queen, what's been going on with you since the show? It's been about a year since it's wrapped up.
Yeah, really, really great things. I've done school tours, I've done hosting gigs. It's been incredible. Just like even when I've been at work, at the airport, and kids will come up to me and they're like, like they'll like whisper to their parents and be like, "That's her." It's like really, really humbling because you're just like, people start acting weird and you're like, "What are they doing?" Like because
Mhm.
you're like, it's like I'm in work mode. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
Beast Games is like the furthest thing from my mind until something like that happens. So it's been pretty cool. I have definitely been inspired, since Beast Games. So I've been doing a lot of, hmm, let's just call it rebranding.
Well, I love to hear that.
How about you?
After oh my god, a lot. Before Beast Games, I was really heavy in the reality TV world. There was another show that I really wanted to compete on. It still hasn't happened yet, but I mean, maybe it'll happen
Hmm.
in the future. I wasn't expecting a lot that came out of Beast Games, even though I didn't get as far as you did. I was there for a pretty long time, and there were things that the show taught me about myself when it came to having more confidence in me. I mean, I didn't realize the amount of influence I truly did have in the game. So
Yeah.
that led me to be more persistent in my goals and to fight harder for what I want. And I was working in clinical psychology before the show, and now I'm pursuing a master's degree in digital media and communications.
Ooh, okay. Shout out to the psych majors. Okay. BS in the
Mhm.
building.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I
Um,
don't think a lot of people would know. Like, yeah, we actually have the same degree, so it's kind of like I think it's cool that we paired up. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what gravitated us together. It's so funny, we ended up meeting from happenstance. We were in the same hotel. We would get bussed from the hotel every episode, and you and I were right in line, and I
Yep.
think on paper, people would not expect you and me to click the way that we did, but we just clicked so fast over our shared goals of wanting.
Instantaneously. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy, and I knew from the start that you were someone I wanted to, keep around me, and I was very happy to see you go far in the game, and I've loved keeping up with you post-show as much as we have.
Yes. No, honestly, it's been like between, the show and now, it's been really, really great for, I'll say our mental, you know what I mean? Like coming out because it's like, sometimes there's things we might want to talk about and, it's like everybody's not going to understand. So, that's one
Yeah.
of the things that has really naturally birthed, the OGBG recap, which was really me and you, catching up and, chatting about, you know, post beast games,
Mhm.
drama, details, all of that
Uh-huh.
jazz. But we're gonna unfold that as we go along though.
Exactly, and there is a lot. So listen, if you want insight from two people that have lived through this and know what it's like to go through the hours of filming, the stress of being in front of the world's largest YouTuber, and are not afraid to give their raw and unfiltered opinions, this is the spot.
Definitely. I
So with
mean, in case you didn't see the reunion episode.
on repeat, okay?
Okay.
So with that, I guess we should jump right into it. So this first
Let's go.
episode, we've got 200 people fighting it out
Yeah.
for $5 million. That is 1/10 of the size of last season's cast. What did
You
you think of
know,
that?
the 2000 versus the 200, I know Jeff's gonna love that number. He's big with the numbers. But so the 2000 and 200, I kind of thought there was like a little symmetry maybe in terms of how they're gonna break the show down.
Mhm.
So I was thinking about that. When the first show came out and I saw they were on the platforms, I was like, okay, so they're kind of starting out the same way we did. So let's see how far this goes. I did not think it was going to go that quick. I did not.
No, it was
Yeah.
very, very fast, and I will say that you brought up a good point. I feel there's a lot of parallels from this season and last season. It all just feels like they
Mm,
took what we did last time and they just bumped it up to 100, where,
yeah.
with the aesthetic, with the risk, with the actual games themselves. I mean, it was this part was even filmed in Las Vegas like ours. What I'm curious about is, was the filming process the same? Because you know that we were stuck in Vegas for, like,
yeah.
5 days, and the episodes, it took so long to film them, so even though we're only seeing, like, a few minutes and it's going by so
Mhm.
fast, there's a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, I was well, so here's the thing that I thought was pretty interesting that I noticed when I was watching, on Instagram today. It seems like from after the first episode that players have been given, like how we were given pictures and videos to post. It seems like these players have been given a lot more like BTS, but kind of like, while they're, in between filming and things like that. So
Yes.
I've noticed that. So I really don't think that the schedule might have been as crazy as ours because I mean,
Mhm.
mind you, with 2,000 people, we had, groups having to go to the bathroom every 15 minutes. So it took forever sometimes for us to like get a production set
Oh
going.
my
But
god, it would drag out.
yeah,
Low key, I don't know if I
so
should be admitting this, but there was a time in the first episode where I literally pissed my pants
oh
waiting
my
so
God,
long for
no,
I know,
no.
but listen, this was my strategy. I would let out just a little, let it absorb, let it evaporate, and start back from square one. But y'all gotta remember, this was $5 million. I was in it to
We are
win it.
not keeping that. Oh
Listen, it was
my
5 million, and they were like, "Bathroom breaks are done." I was like, "Oh, well, that's I don't know what to do. I don't know."
God.
But it is that's what you gotta do. That's what I wanna see from these players. You gotta be willing to
Okay.
lay it all out, babe.
No, for real. You know what? And so with the way that Jimmy started the first episode, separating the strong versus smart,
Yeah.
that was an expectation that I wasn't ready for either. Because when I first saw the platforms, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to be all mixed in. So I thought
Oh.
that that was actually a nice little twist, just right off the bat, where I'm like, okay, you're grabbing my attention because I don't have to focus on everybody being all mixed in. Like, okay, who's smart, who's strong? I already know all these people are the strong people, all these people are the smart people. You know what I'm saying? So that was really good. I
Mhm.
thought from an editing perspective too.
Oh, it was a
Yeah.
great idea, yeah. I was anticipating them doing a challenge to face off against each other, but
Yeah, no,
team
I
versus
thought that
team.
too. I definitely thought
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was definitely a great idea just from a story perspective because now we get to see this is what the strong people are like, this is what the smart people are like, and how they
Hmm.
tackle a challenge.
Hmm. Yeah, it was
Mhm.
a nice, like, quick or slow unveiling, of what we're gonna get from these teams being separated.
We gotta
Hmm.
talk about the confessionals. So, last season, when they did these opening confessionals of, "Oh, I'm gonna win the 5,000,000," I would be remiss to not remind everyone our winner, Jeff, was one of those people that had an opening confessional. So do you think
Hmm.
that we have already met our winner?
You know, in my mind of minds, I just don't know if Jimmy or Mac or Tyler would want to do the same thing,
Mhm.
even subtly or even in the smallest fraction, the same at all in that aspect. And especially considering the fact that we have loopholes where they already, have done, crazy, you know what I'm saying, like changes. So like who's to say that something doesn't happen later on in the show that ultimately leads to our winner. So I don't think that our winner's been, unveiled in the same fashion, but I do think that, we've gotten a good look at them. Yeah.
Well, I really hope we have not met our winner yet, at least from those first confessionals, because they were cringe as fuck. I'm sorry. It was the same thing. They don't have a chance. I'm gonna buy a Lambo. I'm gonna spend it all on black. And then you had like what they were known for, and you had one guy, I'm a Pokemon champion. I'm like, I don't know about that qualifying as smart, but I mean, maybe you know how to throw a pokeball and you know that fire is weak to water. So I don't know what the yeah.
I cannot. I cannot. I mean, okay, let me say it like this. Um, mm, I definitely feel like there's some people that just have a particular thing about them, but it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean that that's why they're smart. So I don't, maybe that's just his thing to like get people to remember him because obviously you did it work, but
Yeah.
maybe he still has a high IQ. Who knows? But the videos, okay, it's okay. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it just seems like more people are just so hung up on the we're not here to make friends, we're not here for this. But then
Yes.
but then on the flip side, they're like alliances are so important. So it's like, okay, I hear you, but I still see you doing the same thing.
No, I no, I noticed that this time around, these people are a lot more like argumentative or aggressive in that capacity where they're like, we want to be like we're better than you, whatever. I will say I think the difference is that when we were in Las Vegas, there were a lot of players that did act that way for the camera because with Beast Games, the way it's
You're
filmed,
right.
there's
Yeah.
no there's no private diary room where you go to air out your feelings. There's literal moments where you need to fight for camera time. There's people wandering around. If you don't act like a jackass, there's people that think that they're not going to be shown at all. So I start to feel that maybe some of these people are putting on a bit of a facade of what they think
Mm-hmm.
production wants,
Mm-hmm.
think that but let me tell you, none of those people do well, and if you don't believe me, go ask the red team, and that's what these smart and strong people are giving, but I mean, I'll wait for them to prove it.
They
Uh,
are spicy though. I do like it.
they are spicy, but I want real spice. I don't want fake Zeus Network spicy where you're trying to be a baddie, but you're not
Yeah, I don't
actually
want that at all. I
yeah,
definitely don't want that at all because then that's going to give me the biggest eye roll ever.
yes.
Correct.
So let's dive into this first game. So the strong players, out of the 100, only 50 would survive. They had to
Correct.
climb down what looked like a stripper pole, or I guess a fireman pole,
Okay,
and
fireman pole would be more. Yeah.
yeah, though some of them were dancing on it like they were strippers.
There
Uh,
were a few that kind of gave, oh, you have one in your house, don't you?
definitely.
There
So
was a
they
few.
had
There
to
was a
go
few.
down to a weight that was third of their body weight, which I thought was great.
Correct.
It was very
Yep.
fair, and tied to it would be these blocks. So their job was to hoist up the weight, grab the blocks, and then get back to the top. Going into it, what do you because you would have been strong is what
Yeah,
we
I would.
talked
I
about.
yeah. I am definitely going for the physical side if I had to choose between smart and strong. My approach would have been getting down. I don't think is the challenge. Obviously,
Mhm. Yeah.
making sure that you stay on while going down would be the challenge.
Mhm.
So, I think as like knowing your strengths would be a big thing. So I know that I'm more strong in my legs than my arms. So I would use my upper body for stability. I would use my lower body for leverage. That
Yeah.
was cool. That was what my thought process was. Then when I got down, I would have in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because I that part I didn't see exactly like was there a handle? Like what was the only
It
option?
didn't look like there was. What it looked like was they had the little footholds that you could put in, and then you just had to grab the rope and you had to pull it up, and that was it, and that's really hard, like,
Yeah,
while you're trying to
now
hold yourself up.
now that part is where I'm not like I think some people try to rely on one arm strength and then pulling the back up. And I think that's
Yes,
the reason why a lot of people
yes,
failed in that part because you're splitting your strength and there's no way that you're going to be able to support all of your body on one arm unless you have practiced that. So,
yeah,
yeah, so I think that pulling it up would have been about stability with your legs because I saw a couple of people where their hands weren't even on the pole at all. They just had their legs suppressed. The ones that look
yes,
like professional firefighters.
like yeah,
uh,
yeah, I could see it. That love to work
but
bachelor parties or bachelorette parties.
yeah,
Well, did you see that there was people that were hanging upside down like Spider-Man? And I think most of them didn't end up getting back up. I really didn't understand because I think you're correct that leg strength was very important. That was what should keep you up, but I don't think bending literally hoisting yourself all the way down is the move. I think they could have stayed upright and then used both of their arm because when you're bending
you
all the
gotta have a lot of
way
core
down
strength for that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah, you would.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Now you're tiring your whole body out.
The only thing I can think
Yeah.
of as to why that would have made sense to someone would have been maybe they thought, okay, the further I am away from all the way at the bottom, the less I have to go back up. It's not like we were ready for the challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a couple people
No.
that were like ninja warriors, but like everybody else had like specific things that they were, good at. So I think that that's what made it cool too, to see like, oh, okay, the wrestler made it. Oh, the ninja warrior made it. Oh, the marathon runner didn't make it. You know what I mean? It's like,
It definitely
yeah.
benefited people that did stuff like Ninja Warrior or that were, like,
Mhm.
agile. I think people that just were brute strength, like meatheads, struggled with this challenge, and for climbing, it's not just about all up here, you do need
Yeah.
lower strength as well, like you were
So don't
saying.
skip leg day.
Mhm. I think the most interesting point of this challenge was the ending. So you've got
Hmm.
49 spots taken out of the 50, and at this point, everyone else has fallen except for one person. So this is a lesson to future players if you find yourself on season 3. It's not
Hmm.
about finishing first. It's not about being the fastest. Quite literally, most of these games are about just don't be the worst. So now
Yeah.
you've got this mom who I don't remember what her name was. So I think it was Sonia. Her name was Sonia.
Okay.
And
I was like, wasn't she like 11 or something? I think.
yes, she was something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
she's the last one on here, and all she has to do to get to the top. And unlike other challenges where sometimes if everyone else has failed, you get an auto pass, Jimmy makes it clear she needs to get to the top or only 49 are moving on. But I thought that they did a great job with the storytelling. In season 1, I think that was something lacking was I didn't start to feel empathy for people even in the first episode when there was that lady that got screwed over by the guy with the 100,000. I think her name is Lori. She follows me on Instagram.
Hmm.
I didn't
Hmm.
feel this episode. I did feel. I was like, I don't know you, but come on, bitch, get to the top. Let's do this
No,
shit.
seriously. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, girl. I was like, you got all the time. There's no time. I don't think there was a time limit. But
No,
either
there was
way, but I
no
was just
time
like,
limit. She just had to get up there.
yeah, I was like, girl, I'm like, blowing your hands. I'm
Yeah,
like, do whatever you have to do.
do
Like,
it. If you got
I
to be bleeding from blisters, bitch, do it.
And see, this is the difference between the editing because I was already attached to her as a female, like, like cheering, a single
Mhm.
mom on, or I believe she's a single mom. And it's like
Yeah,
just
I
just
think so.
cheering, just cheering for her, like for her strength to come up out of her, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, to where she can make her ass up to the top. That was a great feeling. And that was one of the things like I've told some of the other players, when they've been like asking me, "Oh, well, what's your anticipation for season 2?" I'm like, I want it to be exciting. I want it to be exciting to the point where I'm watching and I can't even believe it, even though I was already a player. That's what I want to see. And so far, that strong challenge definitely hit the mark for me on that one in episode 1. Round of applause.
So now we move on to the smart game, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this game was easy as fuck. I'm sorry. I hate to say it to y'all that may have struggled in this challenge, but if you struggled in this game, I don't think you can qualify yourself as smart. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you. Okay, so I thought that it was really quick as far as how fast Jimmy like stacked the blocks up, and then he would knock it down as soon
Yeah.
as he put the last one up.
Well, I wanna know if that was editing because in the edit, it was just like bam, 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 bam. But I mean, it everything was at a
Yes,
it
but
was
see,
at like a
but
snail's pace out there.
but as a viewer, if they did edit it, then that means that who knows how long they had to really, get a chance to look at it, right?
I feel like they did get a lot of time because they need to make sure because they're very about fairness. Klitzner would always come out and explain
Yes.
everything
Shout
before
out
we
to my guy
started.
Clits.
I love him, and he was on if you did not check it out, Survivor did a partnership with other
Hmm.
influencers, and they did a one-day Survivor thing, and Klitzner is on there, and Carl is on there, and I was very excited to see them. But Klitzner would make sure that everybody understood the rules, and for me, I would imagine there's 100 people there. Jimmy is gonna wanna make sure every single person knows what block is there. Number 1, because you don't wanna do a million rounds. But number 2, he wants to make sure
True.
it is
True.
fair for everybody. But Imma tell
Yeah.
you, Queen, even with the short time that we got, I was playing from home, I got all of the things.
Oh,
Um,
well, congrats for you because I didn't. I was like, damn, what was the last two?
well
Blue, green? I don't remember.
well, that's the thing. When we were watching, people were saying blue, blue, red, red, red. Like they were saying the whole color to themselves. So, I mean, you know
Mhm.
this from getting your psych degree, that the human
Association.
brain can only retain up to 7 inputs at a time. So once you get over that 7, something is going to get lost. So the way
Yeah.
that you remember is through a mnemonic device. And for me, my strategy when it comes to remembering colors is you make words out of the first letter in the color. I don't have the best memory, but I can take the R from red, I can take the B from blue and the green, and I can do Riggy before da, ba, da, ba, da. Like, and that was
Yeah.
how I got it.
The 7 digits, that okay, so I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the reason why our telephone numbers originally used to just be 7 and we didn't have area codes was because of that very reason. So, by the
Yes.
way, little fun
Mhm.
Snapple Apple fact for the nerds.
That's a fun fact for the kids that don't know what telephones are or what a
Oh,
rotary
I
is.
know. Look, no, look, the what rotary dial
The
and
thing you
oh
had to
gosh.
spin or the thing that would hang on the wall and you'd have to push the
Yeah,
button,
a
you know?
home phone. It's
Yeah.
not just a part of the package that you get to get a discount.
Yeah. In the last round when there was, like, 16 blocks, did you notice it was the same pattern 4 times in a row?
Honestly, I don't recall.
It was. So it was I because
Hmm.
'cause I was playing along and I was
I
doing
think
my
I might have gave
strategy.
up.
Yeah. I think it I but I mean, in my mind, I was like, "There's no way people are gonna remember 16 blocks." But then I was looking at it and I was like, "Okay, RGBY," which was like Rigby from regular show, Rigby. And then it was, "Oh, here's Rigby again. Oh, here's Rigby for a 3rd time. Oh, it's just Rigby 4 times." So it was just all about, okay, get your tower up as fast as you could. And if someone wasn't paying attention to the pattern itself and was just trying to, like, say the colors out loud, they
Yeah.
probably would have missed that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it is about the blogs. Don't like the blogs.
Hmm. You got
In any
PTSD.
way. I don't like them in any way.
For those of y'all that don't know, everybody fucking flopped the blocks first season. Like, it was terrible. Only they said only 100 were gonna go, but I think out of what there was 700 of us, I think, like,
Yeah.
only, like 200 or less of us actually got it up. Like, my partner, his stats
Yeah.
fell as soon as the time was up. But for me, my shit was stayed up the full, like, 3 hours they were checking footage.
No, but you want to know what? That's a good call out because like the anticipation of like knowing like who you beat and who beat you is the hardest part of it all.
And they
That
probably had to
part, like,
wait.
yeah, the anxiety
Yeah,
of waiting to finding
yeah.
out that. Well, I mean, mind you, we had hundreds. They
Mhm.
had dozens, but you know
I
what I
would
mean.
have but they said they had to
But
check the
still, you're waiting
yeah.
to find it if you won. I feel like it would be the same feeling.
Well, they did say that they had to check the cameras and it was a photo finish, and I mean, that could have just been like a Jimmy being extra thing, but
True.
I could believe that it was a photo finish, so I would imagine at minimum, even with the less people, it probably took them over an hour to, like, officially declare the winners, and that was probably stressful.
Yeah. But all I can say is I was really, really proud of the individuals that did make it through. And I was really, really proud of the ones that didn't, just because of the commentary that they gave. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like with their exit, just the few that did. It was still setting the tone, which I
yeah.
realized, from an editor's perspective that was definitely like, a nice little yeah.
It was good, even if, like, we don't remember these people as characters, like, they did a good job helping push the story, and now we are gonna get
Yes,
to know these
exactly.
people because all of these 100 people now get to live in the coveted Beast City. We got to do Beast City, and I remember being this huge thing. Do you remember, like, how badly people wanted to get the city to see what it was
Yes.
about?
Bro, their city has a pool. Three
Yes.
pools. Do you know how bad I would have wanted to get into that
Oh
city?
my god, they made our city look like the projects, like, it was we looked like shit compared to their oh my
Yes. I
god.
mean, hey, 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 to be fair, we had the house 500. They only had
Yes,
the house 50. That's a big
yes.
difference.
No, I know, and
All
listen,
they
our
could
city
fit all
wasn't
of the people
bad,
that for their show in one of our cabins. Let's
and
be
listen,
real.
it was not bad at all, like, our city was still very fun, but I mean, like, oh, the amenities here were better than a college campus.
Yeah, no, seriously. What? Because that
Oh
Starbucks
my god.
cafe that they had, I was a little jelly. I was a little
Yeah,
jelly. Cake pops? Cake
yes!
pops? They had
It's
K-pops?
all the fixin'. First difference I noticed immediately was the aesthetics. So our city was built if you went up close, you could tell it was mostly wood. Like, the cabins were wood, even the tower itself, there was a lot of wood that they used. This, it's like there's LEDs everywhere, it's color
Yes.
coordinated, it's like a metal finish, like, and
Yeah.
it looked like they took our city and they renovated it.
Yeah. Major
Mhm.
upgrades. Yeah.
Yes.
Price just went up. The rent's gone up.
Yeah, gentrification at its finest, okay?
No,
Um,
seriously, but that was
yeah.
like that's a really good call up because yeah, we had the trenches, what, portable bathrooms and things. I think they had showers. I think they had like uh, anyway.
I couldn't tell because they did show a scene where someone was, like, I guess, like, brushing their teeth inside somewhere, and it did look like the same trailers that we used. For those of you who don't know, they gave us, like, mobile trailers to go take a dump and do our business, but it was only for bathroom. We couldn't go in there for, like, brushing our teeth or shaving or any of that stuff. So I am curious if they had bathrooms attached or if it was trailers like last time.
True.
Mhm.
Either way, we are the redheaded stepchildren. It's like no, no,
With
their
no
set
money.
is so cool. But
Yeah.
like, okay, we had a workout area. Okay,
Yes.
they have a whole entire gym.
Yeah, oh my
Let's
god.
start there. Let's just start
They
there.
put a whole unique fitness in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I thought about Tawana and I was like, she'd have ate this shit up.
Tawana woulda loved that. Oh my god. Yeah.
And the gravel, like the ground wasn't level, so like
No, so it was
people
dangerous.
were running, but I
Yeah.
was like, no, bro, that's how you know. I was like, I'm
No.
not, no,
Or
I'm
for
not doing. I was like, I'll
biking.
walk, but I was like, I'm not running on that. That's gonna irritate my knee even worse, and it did.
And people were biking, and if you would bike, the only safe spot was by the houses, but here, it looks like they leveled the ground, and I wanna say this is the same area in Toronto, the same field that they used last time. I could be wrong, but it looks pretty much the same.
I
Um,
heard that it was
yeah.
I heard it was in North Carolina. I heard it was not in
Oh, so it's
Toronto.
North Carolina, not
hmm
Toronto.
That's what I
Oh,
heard.
that
That's what I
probably saved
heard.
them money. The dormitories are beautiful here as well. It looked like the hotel that they would put
Yeah,
us up in. It
yeah.
had glass fixtures, there was central air. Bitch, we didn't have central air. They wheeled in an AC unit for us. Like, these people had it on and popping. And then, the Beast, cafe, I did see one of the girls, she was the Asian girl that had the pink in her hair, and she said that going into it, she expected just, like, boiled eggs and carrots and celery. I think that all of, like, the horror stories of Las Vegas
I was
have
gonna say people are so
tainted the
stuck on
mind.
that.
Yeah, but it's like, that's not how we were fed. In B City, we got choices to pick, but it's like
Yeah,
the same thing here. They said I was at first, I thought maybe they only got lunchlies to eat, which, no shade, but I don't need no lunchies, but they got a whole menu, you
I'm
know?
gonna tell you right now, I would have taken a lunchly over them boiled eggs and them damn that cold
Oh, well,
oatmeal.
of course, I literally I remember
Yeah,
when they gave us
okay.
the
Pizza
boiled.
lunchly me,
Yeah.
please.
I remember when they were going past us when we were behind the scenes of, Vegas, the Allegiant studio, and they had just given us the boiled egg. Everyone was like I was like, "I don't like boiled eggs," and they were like, and Felicia, who was in my alliance, she's a Squid Game, was like, "No, you gotta eat protein, you need protein." I put the shit in my mouth. I was and I was, like, spitting it out, and of course, that's right when the camera was passing by to, like, get a pan of all of us. So
Did
they've
they
got
get you?
somewhere.
Did it air?
I don't know, I didn't see it, but somewhere in
Oh.
their vault, they have footage of me going with a boiled egg.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah.
No, that was brutal. That I'm nothing. Let me tell you something. I hear the word quinoa and I'm just like, no.
I fucks with the quinoa. I fucks with the quinoa, and they served that,
I'm so
you
traumatized.
oh, you didn't like the quinoa? I loved it, and the chicken?
The chicken was fine. I don't know what it is, but the quinoa is just
Maybe the
like
texture,
it's like now I don't and like I've had it before, but since Beast Games,
uh,
nope. No,
is
can't do
it
quinoa.
it's
Can't do
trauma
quinoa.
tied to it.
Can't do
Um,
quinoa. Not at all.
what I really loved was they were showing the relationships and the social game. I can't tell you how many yeah.
Early.
Yes. One thing about season 1, there was all of that politicking going on from day 1. I was heavily part of it. There was not a moment where I was not paying lip service to everybody there, but every single challenge that you do has social game in it. I don't care what it is, even the wipeout thing they do later, they all have it. Because look, the blocks
Yes.
is a perfect example. The only reason I got my blocks up was because my neighbor next to me, who I don't even know if this girl actually liked me. I think that she didn't even like me, but I like pleaded. I was like, I can't do this. Can you please help me? And she gave me a step-by-step tutorial of how to build my shit. If I
Hmm.
didn't ask for that help, I would have gotten eliminated.
That was the same for me. I
Yeah,
had 816 next to me who was Ashley. There
yeah,
was 20. I remember it like vividly. It was
yeah.
like 23 seconds left on the clock. I only had the base. I looked up and I was like, Ashley, help me. Literally, that was it. And
Mhm.
like, she's like, okay, do this, do that. Like, literally, it was like, so for every second she said something, the other second I was moving the block. And it was literally
Yes.
like, "Do, do, 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 do."
Yeah.
And then it was like, I looked up, it was 3 seconds left. And that's the clip that they have actually in the first episode. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
I
and you
remember
can see
that.
my hands with the very last one, and I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck me. And I'm like, just looking. And
yeah,
literally, I let it go, and I was like, and I remember I let it go, and I took a breath. I was like, and then it fell,
yeah.
and I was like, I'm going home.
And you
In
didn't, you
episode
moved
one,
on.
I said I was going home, and I made it all
Yeah,
the way almost to episode 10. Crazy.
yeah. So making an alliance or team, they kept on calling it team. I was like, I don't understand calling it team, whatever, is very important. I really liked watching the dynamic of this, how of the smart people's interest and the strong interest. You got the smart people that are over there getting excited over a Rubik's cube, and then you got on the other side all of the strong guys with their shirts off, trying to look cute for the girls. It's just
Hmm.
doing crazy shit in the gym, and it was very funny to me.
It's really entertaining because you're seeing these personalities unfold. I'll say this. I think the fact that they use team versus alliance. So team is
Uh-huh.
maybe challenge driven, or you know what I'm saying, like
Oh, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
unnaturally forced, right? But
Yes.
then you have an alliance where it's like, no, I'm intentionally trying to work with this person.
I agree with that. There's
So
definitely, a time and a place where you have people that you trust and you should stick with them, and then there's a
mhm.
time where you have people that you know are good in games
So
and
you
you
want to
wanna
stick
go
them
with them.
close, keep them close
Yes,
by.
exactly, and I think
Okay.
early on, a team is probably more important than an alliance. There's not a lot of time to, like, really learn to love these people. There were some moments that caught my eye, one of which was you had a smart guy with a strong girl, and the smart guy is trying to figure out a telescope, which is just so funny to me that he can't figure out the telescope, and the strong girl trying to, like, align with him is like, "Come on, you can do it." I'm like, "Bitch, it's just a telescope."
I gotta watch that part over again. Like
It's
now when I
so
watch it
funny.
again, I'm gonna text you and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna
Yeah,
text you a picture
yeah,
of a star.
yeah. Oh my god, and I'm gonna lose my mind. But there was a couple of moments that like, really, like, stood out to me, and I mean, that was one of them. So, we've got a couple
Mhm.
alliances that are starting to form. It looks like all of the meatheads are gonna stick together, because
Yeah,
they think
they're pretty strong about like
yeah,
not like teaming up with the smart team. Like
which is
pretty
very
pretty
dumb.
adamant. It's giving the smart team is like I mean it's giving the strong team is like the Avengers from season one.
Yes.
It's
Well,
mhm.
when the guy was saying that the people that got to the end the first time, they all stuck together from the beginning, I was like, he's talking about the Avengers, and the fact of the matter is that when you have alpha personalities and there's no one willing to go against them, that is who's going to get to the end, and unfortunately, there just wasn't people like that. But
Yeah.
I think it's different this time around. You know, you have the meatheads, but I don't think they're necessarily gonna, make it all the way. For example, one player that really did stand out to me was, I don't remember his player number, but his name was Jack. But his strategy was
Mhm.
he wanted to integrate himself with the strong people, like cross team, by making himself the fun one that people can laugh with.
Desirable,
Yes,
making himself desirable. And mind you,
yes,
because they don't have cell phones just like we did. And I mean, yeah,
yeah,
they have LED lights, but they still didn't
yeah,
have any, connection to the, outside world.
yes,
So entertainment is a valuable asset
yeah,
in Beast
for
games.
morale.
And being able to entertain is going to get you far too, because people are going to
Yeah.
feel like, oh well, we can't do him.
Yes,
We
and
can't do
people
it
might
to
not remember
her.
what you do. They might not remember what you do, but they do remember how you make them feel. And
That's big. Oh yeah.
I could tell that those people felt like he was great, and he is obviously not the strongest person. You could tell that he's not, like, super athletic, but when games come along where you need that athletic, they're not gonna gun for you. They're gonna gun for other people, and you know, you need that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because like, okay, knowing you're smart, knowing you're strong is an offensive game, but there's
mhm,
a defensive game to Beast games too that a lot of people don't talk about.
yeah,
The way that you socialize can be used as a defensive game, like we're talking about. You
yes,
know what I mean? Like
yeah.
if you're able to position yourself to where, you know, you've been able to talk to other teammates who aren't in your alliance, and that also can help your alliance too, pulling people up. But
It
that
is
is
tricky
what
though, because you start to get a target, because I got a target on
Mhm.
my back in the cubes. They called me out because my team realized I was talking with everybody, which I was, but you should be teaming with everyone because at any moment, 50 people go at a time. Like you could cut in half. At any moment, all of your friends could be gone. So you should be going
Yeah.
around, literally getting to know as many as you can. And someone like Jack that might be doing that, it bodes well for him to go far in this competition.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that what we're going to see going into episode 2 is going
Mhm,
to be more of these alliances unveiled.
mhm.
You know, just how deep they really go.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to, you know, also see who really is capable of, you know, being a competitor and who's not.
So that leads us to episode 2. So episode 1 ended with a giant reveal. Going into this season, there was a lot of anticipation about getting a second shot. And then we start this season and it looks like, oh, it's all new players. But then they get to go to the portal when the time is up, which looked really
Mhm.
dope. They enter this like spaceship looking area and out walks 10 masked figures holding
10
one.
upgraded mass figures because these
Oh
were not
yeah.
just the regular guards. These were Panther masks, by the way. Just got to
Yes.
throw in that detail.
It's $100,000 and Jimmy says, "This season, you guys have a chance if you have had enough to leave the game $100,000 and in your place, you send an OG legend into the competition." So going into this, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. I had heard rumblings in the community because the alumni
Hmm.
community is pretty well connected,
Hmm.
and, you can kinda tell from who goes off the grid. I kinda had a feeling of who
Hmm.
these people were. Let's dive into these returning players. So you've got the first one they show is Tawana, who is
Hmm.
somebody that both of us got very close to in the game.
Hmm.
We had a Final 3 alliance. You 2 ended up taking a lot further without me. We both got very close to her, and she herself got this close to winning the whole thing. How did it feel to see her?
It was I, as much as I have had questions about what happened between, you know, me and Tawana. Tawana makes me feel like, you know, she put the time in, she put the effort in. She uplifted players, she backstabbed players. Her coming back was a great chance, a great opportunity. I feel like it was cool because I mean, my problem with her is why did you leave the 3 briefcases on top of the dang, you know,
It was
circular
an
pillar?
embarrassing ending. I'm not gonna
You know what
hold
I mean?
you.
So it was like
I was rooting
I
for
would
her, but
have
it
I
was bad.
wanted, you know, I wanted unselfishly, you know what I mean? Like I wanted more for her because it would
Yeah.
at least it would have felt like, well, at least one of us got what we came for. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I was
So,
really hopeful that she had gotten it because after the fact, I've had regrets about not volunteering myself as captain because I've had people
mhm.
tell me if I had, I could have been up there, and I'm sorry, I probably would have taken the money, but I really rallied for Tawana to be our leader because I knew that she wasn't gonna sell any of us out, and I was right, and me uplifting her to that ended up leading to her being chosen on the first helicopter and getting far. So I was like, you know what? If I don't win, at least if this woman who really helped me through this competition got it, it would all be worth it. So I think of all
Mhm.
of them, she's definitely the most worthy of a second chance. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah, yeah, I was cool. Like when I seen her, it was like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
expect
Like,
anything
okay,
less. I didn't expect anything less.
so then we have Kareem, and I hear a lot about Beast Games from some of the students I work with and the teachers. Like, there's a lot of older people that do watch this show, and the Habibis are very notorious. So seeing Kareem in there, part of me was like, I feel like there's something missing with his brother not being there. but I do think of the two, he was the right person for the job. He's very much in on what his role is. He's ready to be a villain. He's ready to bring the content, the
Wears it
entertainment.
proudly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need people that are not afraid to stir the pot. Too many people don't want to shit on their reputation, quote unquote, and make Twitter not like them. So I was here for his return.
Or
Uh,
Reddit.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
Reddit, next up is Dino, who Reddit
Mm.
loved to white knight for. So
Mm.
we have different experiences with
And
Dino.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I came out of my mouth, okay?
Okay.
So we have different experiences with Dino. Dino was in my very first alliance from the
Hmm.
start of the competition, and then all of our alliance got wiped out. It's just me and him. We didn't talk as much later on because there's a big age gap, and he kind of, went towards the older people. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
he did.
Yeah, but I didn't have a bad experience with him. Obviously, you, it's a different story.
Yeah, and like because and
Yeah,
that's why I'm like I'm really glad for let me just go back in and bring it home. I'm really glad that season 2 is showing off in the very first episode and then even more detail into the very second episode of who these players are.
yes,
Because the main issue that I had with Dino was in the train challenge, it was not, him picking Jazz. Originally, that is not why I'm upset. It's a sequence of things. He's talking to me while they're riding the train, of elimination, down the tracks, talking about, hey, Queen, I was at Beyonce's baby's birth and I couldn't get you tickets. And oh, and I knew
oh,
Kobe. And I was like, okay, why the hell are you talking to me about like black celebrities? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was okay, Evanescence is
let's
my
put a
favorite
bad
band.
taste
Did you
in your
know
mouth.
that? Like,
Yeah.
you're over here stereotyping me and prototyping me, to what you think that a typical black female is going to be excited about. Like, yeah, Kobe Bryant and I had the same basketball number, but bro. That doesn't mean I'm all like gassed up about this shit. I'm mad that my freaking main ally, because at that moment I already knew that Tawana wasn't. So everybody thinks in that episode, when I'm like, I know when I'm getting played, I was using reverse psychology and like making it seem like I was talking about Dino, but I was actually talking about Tawana. Because when I
Yeah.
was talking about, oh, I know when I'm being played, it was because it clicked to me that Tawana started only talking to me so then that way I could conspire with her against Dino. So that was
So
the
she
because
had
we
it out for
hadn't she had
Dino.
been acting, shifty or whatever since after the Red Cube challenge because she wanted to make it seem like, oh, I was just this backstabbing bitch, in the Red Cube to Jasmine, not Jazz,
Yeah.
the other one, and I'm like, bro, and I'm like, you were the one that came up to me when we were sitting in the patio talking about, well, me and you got to make it out the cube and you all of this camaraderie. Then when we get in the cube, when we're on camera, then you want to be all like, well, I don't believe that anyone's reason is better than anyone's reason. Like, no, bro. Like, no. Keep the story straight. Like, no. Let's really talk about what the hell you said. Let's really talk about it. You know what I mean? So,
'Cause I remember in Las Vegas when I first met him, he knew that I was into Survivor, and he did
mhm.
name drop Jeff Probst, that he had, helped out Jeff Probst and all that,
He's
like,
a big
rejected.
name dropper, and that's
So,
just so
I
cringy.
think
It
it's
really
his
rubbed me the wrong way. I
strategy.
hate
Yeah.
that.
I think that
Like,
it's
I
his
hate that.
strategy to have the Dino persona, but we'll see if it
Yes.
works out with the others. Akira was next. I think the best way that I could put
Woo!
Akira is Akira
Yay!
very similarly, we didn't mention the showmance, but there is a showmance this season, and people were afraid of them. Akira is a very strong player, and where people see an obstacle, I see an opportunity. Akira is fiercely loyal, and he, to his own detriment, will go out of his way to protect you in this game. I think that these newbies better beware, and if there was anyone for them to team up with, I definitely think Akira is the returning player that they should. But that does bring over to another power player, someone that had a lot of influence in the game, cult leader Jeremy,
Ah,
or
he
he's
was not a
well, he's been
co-leader.
dubbed as a cult leader. I mean, that's the way. Whenever I describe him, I have to say cult leader because that's the only way people
No, there were just
remember him.
weird people who had no idea of what spirituality was and what a
Yeah,
higher power was, and they gravitated to it because they're like,
yeah,
oh, someone that actually, I can relate to, and he sounds right, so I'm gonna go with it. Like that one
yeah.
girl, and she's like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Like she was the weirdo of
Yeah.
everybody.
We so to
Like,
set the record straight on Jeremy,
let
as
him know.
people that worked with him, and, what I felt was that Jeremy was someone that was very strong in his beliefs and in his faith,
Yes,
and
yes.
the only fault that I could put on him is that there were moments where there was a bit of the social contract. I remember coming into the green room after the cubes, and he said, "Let's all do a prayer." And it was kinda like, if you said no, you'd look like a jackass. And as a Jewish person, I didn't feel comfortable involving myself in a prayer surrounded around Christian faith, but I kinda had to do it or else I would have been othered. But that was the only fault I could put on him.
Othered. I like that. Othered.
Yes, yes, that's the only fault
Mhm.
I could put on him, but as far as the rest of the stuff, Jeremy himself is not manipulative in that capacity, but the people around him weaponize
Yes.
his
Yes.
influence and the
Yes.
Christianity, and because you're
Yes.
in a really vulnerable position in this competition, you don't have your family, you don't have your friends, in cults, that's the people that get recruited. It's people that are, they don't know where to go, they don't know where to turn. There were people around Jeremy that saw that opportunity, they seized it for themselves, and unfortunately, since
Yep.
Jeremy was the figurehead, he
Yep.
received all of the blame.
Yep. No, that's absolutely true because
Yep.
I think people realized it was easier to hide behind the leaders as opposed to actually becoming one very early in the game.
Yeah.
And, and I think that that was a safe place for a lot of villainous people to hide, truthfully. So,
So then we have Gage, who of all the people, I felt like Gage was no shade to Gage. I felt like Gage was the biggest "Why are you here?" And I think he's very
oh
I'm sorry, but he was nice. The only thing I remember about Gage is that he flipped the coin and he made it 10,000,000, and I think that Jimmy does love having people back that have a specific thing about them that are memorable, but, I mean, I'm not saying this just because 'cause you're here, but because of the gender imbalance and because of personalities, I think that you should have been in his spot, and that's just,
wow.
how I feel. I don't think that he has a dynamic with the other players there. I'm being so for real,
Okay.
Yeah.
I I I I could not come to terms with who I would have swapped myself out with because Jeff is a winner, Dino's the lover, Tawana's the redeemer. You know what I mean? JC's the the greedy.
Mhm.
The one that the takes all winner. You know what I mean? Type
Yeah.
of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like as far as like roles.
I feel that when you have returning players, it's all about their dynamic with each other, and the thing is with Gage, everyone likes Gage. They didn't
Yeah,
vote him off, and with
yeah.
you, I mean, not saying that nobody likes you, but you have history with Tawana, you have history with Dino, and
True.
you can clearly tell that there was people there. They brought in Maddie's freaking husband that Habibi screwed over in the cube. They clearly were thinking about relationships. So it's just with all of them, Gage was a more underwhelming choice. But I do like you, Gage. I love Mia. Mia is one of the people I still keep up with because I remember having a panic attack from literally my team was so stupid that they kept on yelling in our face about you should do this, you should do that. And
Yeah.
Mia,
Good
out
job.
of all the people, was the one that, calmed me down and everything. And I mean, we talk about teams and all that. Mia was the only person that had it written on a card that she wanted to take me for the helicopters. And that meant a lot to me. And
Hmm.
so if I had just waited, I would have, made it through. So I fucks with Mia. Mia's very hard to get to know at first because people think that her attitude means that she's is one way, but she is one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I'm excited to see more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, no. I mean, I definitely can say the heat of the game. We were challenging each other, but
Mhm.
like she's a very sweet person. We got to talk after because we were on the same plane, I believe, when we flew home
Yeah.
from the reunion, and it was cool that we got our little like hey like you're all right, you all right, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. She's a
I
yeah.
am I'm gonna forever support her. She is from Baltimore. Like I try, like when I'm out and about, I talk
Mhm.
about her more than I talk about myself, just because I'm just like I mean it's because it's like no like y'all need to know like people in Baltimore are literally out here making strides, doing different things,
Yeah.
putting themselves in different rooms. You know what I mean? Like on different shows.
Another person, I know you got beef with this guy, but JC coming back, great choice. Great choice. Uh, there here's the thing with JC is that JC gives me college greeter vibes. He's the one that's gonna smile in your face. When you're coming to the campus and it's like, "You're gonna love it at this school." But then behind the scenes,
Oh
when they're on
my
their break, they're like,
god,
"Oh, these
that's
fucking freshmen, I
hilarious.
can't stand them. They all look like shit." Like, that's what JC gave me, and that's dangerous in this competition because people will fall for it.
Let's be honest, people were falling for it.
Yes, and they're falling for
But
it again.
my only gripe with JC is like, you left me with nothing, you bitch. Like,
I mean, Imma keep it a buck with you, Queen. I think he
you
should have just
know,
taken all of it. I thought it was a little insulting to leave, like, chump
ugh,
change, basically. I felt like at that point, just take all of it. Why leave, like, $2,000 for everyone else?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't
But
know. I just,
yeah.
I don't know. And then it's like,
Have you
him taking all
reconciled
the
with him?
money, him taking all the money, all right, fine, whatever. But for you to literally use me to get like to another player to try to get a vote, it was like, bro, you're just the type of greed that you have is in hell. That's
He's
how I feel.
he's
So
dangerous. Now, the last thing on him is, have you reconciled with him post-show?
reconciled with JC?
I will take that as a no.
No. Now, okay, here's what I can say. Like, as far as professionalism goes, like I fully, am capable and able. Like, we were on set. I was not fully in character per se, beyond myself, but there is a little bit of, okay, like post the show, I was doing interviews and I was intentionally being highly, descriptive and prerogative and boisterous and,
Yeah.
for the sake of just,
You
keeping it
can
up,
handle
keeping it
show
up.
business with him, but it's just
Yeah.
you're not gonna be staying over for Thanksgiving. And
Yeah,
that's
but like
fair.
I don't have any
Hard feelings.
issues with I don't have any
Yeah.
issues with JC.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't have any issues with anybody.
It's a game
I
at
can
the end of the
say,
day.
"Hey, I
Yeah.
don't like what you did. Period. Have a good
Yeah.
day."
Yeah. But then there's Courtney. Courtney's probably the only one on here that doesn't really have any skeletons in her closet. She was a fun character towards the end of the run of the show. And
Yeah.
again, I do feel that she probably could have been changed with someone else, but I do think she was a good choice. I mean, that's all I have to say. I think she's a cool person. I've
Yeah.
interacted with her a little bit. She was a good choice.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I think that maybe, like, just going back to what you were saying about with Kareem and his brother,
Yeah.
I think that if his brother were, maybe he's in school because he was, really big
Yeah.
about school and stuff. I'm
Then he would
thinking,
have taken Courtney.
I would put his brother. I feel like his brother and her, or Emma and
I
Courtney,
think
because
Emma should have been there over
yeah,
her
because
because
Emma got. I thought that would have been a great, like,
for JC.
yeah.
Yes,
So yeah,
yeah, it's a little confusing, but, so the last person, at first, I was not happy to hear he was there, but I have come to terms with it, and I actually freaking love it. The winner, Jeff, is back.
yeah,
I view this
yeah.
as a boxing match. He's got the championship belt. Now you gotta take that belt from him,
Exactly.
and I think that's fucking
Exactly.
iconic, and, I believe we talked on the phone about this, that winners in the past on these shows have been punished for their success because they don't get brought back. Like RuPaul Drag Race, they don't bring the winners back except for the all winner. Survivor,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really see the winners coming back as often. They kind of cap it at only a handful. So I
Mm-hmm.
do think that, there is a thing to be said about allowing people that won the show or maybe just won a lot of money to get an opportunity to show what they got again.
Well, I mean, if you think about just even like the typical Beast brand, like,
Yeah.
he's constantly reused players in several videos. He's used
Yeah.
some people, from his regular, YouTube videos in the preliminaries for Beast Game season one.
Yeah.
When it was 2,000 people. Then he's also used, Akira through everything. Like, Akira
I
is like a
love
mini
Akira.
Mac at this point.
Akira's like
Akira
the
is on the
golden
payroll.
child.
You know what I'm saying? Like, put Akira on the payroll. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I feel about, some of the faces that we've seen. Jeremy
Yeah.
has been a repeat player now too, because he
Yeah.
just got to go out to Beastland, with Patrick and Yessie. And, even people were asking me then, they're like, why are you not in Beastland? Like, the questions have been questioning, but all I can say is stay tuned. I
Yeah.
mean, Jimmy didn't send me the merch for season two, I'm assuming for nothing. And shout out to my girl Emma. I
Yeah.
know she got some
So
too. Shout out to everybody.
all you gotta do is make the most of your moment on the show, and Jimmy does treat his people right. I am
Yes.
curious to know how much all these people got paid. I mean, we got $2,000 for playing, and there are shows out there, like a certain show on Netflix that people like to say Mr. Beast ripped off. They don't pay their contestants. So
Yeah.
Jimmy treats
This
his
time
people
around, I
right.
believe it was 1,000 per person.
That's not bad. Well, they added the 2,000 because of all the Anyways,
Yeah,
so
but it was, but
yeah.
this time around, from what I've been told, it was 1,000.
So we have the OGs in there. We kind of gave our
Hmm.
take on all these players. It was a good choice overall. So the newbies are not too excited. You have Jack that said you
They're
already got your
terrified
shot.
if you look at their
Well, and they should be. These are
reaction.
fierce competitors. But you've got like someone yell, "You already got your shot." You got Maddie's husband saying, "I want Kareem in this game so I could get him out."
Hmm.
So everyone starts taking the money. I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious that all of the 100,000 was going to be taken. This was kind of a no brainer. To $100,000 is a lot of money. It's a grand prize for some of the other shows, and you get to do it without screwing anybody over. So, I mean, it was only a matter of time, and I thought this was a unique approach by the producers to reintroduce these players. It wasn't like, okay, they're back in the game. No, they're going to replace people. There's stakes. You can see what order people are brought back in. That may be going through their head now. I thought it
Hmm.
was great.
I agree. I was highly like, ooh, it was that. Oh, okay, so now we're getting dirty. You know what I mean? And then, I even love the categories. So, it. I think the great thing about Beast Games are all the twists that
Yeah.
come. You know what I mean? Because it's the unexpected, it's the spontaneity of it all. It's the what is Jimmy going to do next? You know what I mean? Like
I
that's
mean,
what keeps people coming back.
Big Brother should be ashamed. They took expect the unexpected, their tagline, and they really expect the unexpected. It's is fabulous. So
Hmm.
after the twist is said and done, all the OGs are back in the game.
Yep.
Congratulations to all the people that took $100,000. If you have any
Yeah,
regrets,
I would have been one of
I
those. By
yeah,
the way, I would have
I
took. I would
promise
have just taken it.
I promise you, if you have any regrets about taking it, don't have those regrets. Congrats to all of you. Enjoy your winnings. And now,
Yeah,
yeah.
congrats. Yes,
Mhm.
congrats.
So now the twist is there's going to be 4 games, not too unlike last season when we got in the towers, but this time we did get to choose our game because we got the tokens, but you had to trade to get it. This time it was all in one room. You got to hear a description. You had balance, you had bluff, you had blocks, and you had balls. And
Hmm.
just based on those descriptions, you could go into it. There's a few strategies we saw the players took. Some people, like the smart ones, were waiting to see what the others did. Some people, like Jeff, I heard were saying, I want to see where the other people go so I can go to the one with the most people. And then
Yeah,
other people just were like, what can I do?
yeah.
So, based on these descriptions, which one would you have? Which challenge do you think you would have gone for?
Okay, I can say right now I wouldn't have went for the blocks because I'm still PTSD'd over here. Okay, like I said, the blocks are never like unless Jimmy is like, so Queen, the only way you can come back is if you play this block game. I'm not playing no damn block game.
Yeah, that's
So
the only
there's
way.
that. Okay.
Mhm.
But what I can say is I was enticed. Like I love hearts. That's the reason why even I was always just doing that. I love
Mhm.
hearts. So when I saw the heart and the balance, and I was like,
It spoke to you?
uh, it's not even that it spoke to me. I was like, ooh, like it was it was a ooh, but then it was a like
No.
it was like a
Because a
I ain't
heart is
feeling.
not going to be in there for no reason. Like, he always
That's
got a reason
it
for
was.
shit.
I was like, my heart's gonna be broken if I go there. That's like that was
Mhm.
literally what I thought of. But so then I'm like, okay, and then but I was like, bluff, and I was like, I was what enticed me about the bluff game was I'm really good at peeping someone else's bullshit. So I was like,
Okay.
I could be a valuable asset in that way. Cause I'm trying
Yeah.
to think about like, okay, how am I going to be able to like gain alliances, like team alliances, like what I'm saying? I'm
And that's a
strategizing.
good
So
way. I definitely think you would have been strong at that. For me, I would have been thinking, okay, am I a newbie or am I a returning player? If I'm a newbie, my decision's probably going to be a lot different. Because as a newbie, I don't
true.
feel like you are likely to get targeted. Whereas a returning player is probably going to get targeted in these games. So as a newbie, I do think I would have gone with bluff because same as you, probably because we have the psych background, it is pretty easy to see a tell on somebody and between the other things you really don't know like what
Yeah.
you could be. But if I was coming in as a returnee, I would go for the blocks simply because I've had the success in it before, and it's something where it's not likely to be you can get targeted in this game. It's more likely that it's just going to be straight skill.
I agree from that
Yeah,
double perspective. Okay,
yeah,
as a newbie, I would have picked bluff. As
yeah,
a vet, I would have picked balls. And
yeah.
then would have been so mad because I don't know, I have a little phobia with dodgeball. ugh, I don't like being caught. Like I have a thing about like not wanting to be caught. That's the reason why I was like,
That
oh my
game was
god, I should have
really
took the
hard.
island challenge in season one because running
Yeah.
from the Navy SEALs, I would have never been found.
Yeah. So so going into the balls, the way it worked was it was basically dodgeball. So you would get
Hmm.
on the LED floor, and the
Hmm.
room would divide into either 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams, whatever.
Which can we talk about the floor really quick? The
Oh,
floor was
it was
so
fabulous,
cool.
and
The
it was
floor was
smart.
so cool.
It was smart from a production perspective because it's very easy to set that thing up. You don't have
Yeah.
to wait for hours, so it was a very smart idea to center this episode around the floor and that big
Yeah.
room.
I saw Tyler and Eclipse like in all white suits
Yes,
as like some behind the scenes footage.
yes,
So yeah,
it was
that
fabulous.
was that was pretty cool. They look really holy.
So basically, you have a ball and you have to throw it before the time is up, which is great because it stops people from playing scared.
Mhm.
If you get hit, or if you hold your ball after the time is up, or if you step out of your designated area, you are eliminated, and it's going to go until half are eliminated. So the strategy I felt that people picked up on was have people you trust in the game around you. Like they had the strong that stuck together
Mhm.
for that. And again, this is why you should always stick with people you trust in these games, no matter, even if you think you have to go against them. It's smart. But also to end up on a side with the most people, because if you end up on a side with you and one other person, you got have all these balls thrown at you.
Yeah, literally. What I thought was okay, the social aspect in this game was going to be key because ultimately you can kind of talk yourself in and out of, being a target. So I
Yeah.
thought that that was, pretty cool. So that's the reason why I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I would have been
there were
happier with
rounds where
balls.
people specifically were like, "Target this person," or
Yeah.
"Let's drop our ball and not throw it." But the wrench
Yeah.
in all of their plans was Akira, the person that got brought into the game. Akira's got an
Hmm.
"I don't give a fuck" attitude. He was there for Kill Bill, and he said, "We gotta knock these bitches out so we can get there." And I
Yeah,
was
Kira's
like,
like John
"Yes."
Wick. Like,
Oh, no, he is very it was very John Wick, and he was
yes.
telling the newbies, it's like, "Look, it doesn't matter if you're friends with these people, you've gotta knock them out so you can get to the city." And I hate to break this to you, but there is a point where you have to remember this is just a game, and I
Yeah.
met these people only a few days ago. If there's a shot for you to knock someone out, that may be the difference between you getting to the city, or I mean, getting back in the game, or you getting out on the final round.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You never lied about that.
Yeah. So he was very smart with his approach. He stayed closer to the ground. I thought that was a great strategy. And there were rounds where they would throw the balls and they were like stormtroopers. They couldn't hit their target at all.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, he
ultimately,
stayed furthest on the edge
yeah,
of the ring, which I thought that
yes,
was a good take too.
yeah.
Yeah, and even just like how he went to the ground. Because I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I was like, oh, I would have hit a split. Like I would have hit a split to avoid it. Yeah, flat out.
But Akira pissed off a lot of people in that thing. There was a lot of testosterone going around where I think that guy
Because
G.
he doesn't want to do what everybody wants to do. Like,
No,
ooh.
and people when they have the status quo set up and someone is pushing against it, it mind fucks them, and that's what I love about Akira. He don't care what the status quo is. If he wants to get far or he has people he needs to protect, he's gonna do that. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, this
Whatever his
time
agenda
around,
is, that's what he's locked in on.
yes,
Yes.
but unfortunately,
Hmm.
this time around, he didn't get through, and the
No.
newbies went out, and Akira was the only vet from that game to he's the first vet to go. Were you
Hmm.
surprised that Jeff, the winner, who easily had the biggest start in his back, were you surprised that he made it through this game?
No, because people underestimate Jeff's like I want to say just intelligence from his life experiences
Yes.
and from his educational experiences. He is witty. He
Yes.
is very much so, a nerd, like, with
Yeah.
Snapple Apple facts. He has children, so he's able to connect across the spectrum. He's an older gentleman, he has younger kids. So like all of those things come into play, whether people want to realize it or not. And that's the reason why shout out to my girl Thea. Okay, Tia. Okay, Pooh. Shout out to you.
Oh,
Okay,
Jimmy's,
but
wife?
yeah, period. Okay,
I didn't get to meet
put
her,
the
but
W on it.
oh, yeah, of course, with a b big ass ring. I never got to meet her, but she seems lovely. So shout out to you, Thea. I think she liked our post announcing
Yes.
this
Oh my God.
podcast.
Yes. 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 I
I
forgot
peeped
about that.
that.
Yes.
Yes, so I
So I know
appreciate you
she's
for
gonna.
your
I forget. Yes, yes. So she's that
yeah.
look. Shout out to you, boo, because she has
Mhm.
been working the dresses. The last look, keep
Yes.
that makeup artist forever, honey. Okay, because she
No,
had
she's
you beat
stunning.
to the gods. Okay, she had you beat.
And listen,
Beat
Thea,
up.
there's always an empty chair for you at this table. I'm just saying, I'm gonna
I
throw it out
mean, pull
there.
up. There's always another mic.
Exactly. But yeah, Jeff is definitely someone that people underestimate, and the fact that he was able to integrate himself that fast with these newbies as a winner, it just shows he's gonna be here for the long haul.
Yeah, yeah, and not
So
only that, but if you think about it, okay, so he's kind of like on a high, like I'm
yes,
on top. You can't take me down, and so
he's got an
just like
unshakable confidence
yes, like just
that's
like
needed.
like how the challenge, but the race challenge came, when they had like the gladiator, like in my vision, it's like Jeff is at the top of the mountain, and it's like there's all these Beast Games season 2, players trying to like climb to get to the top. Like
He's
that's
got
kind of the
nothing to
goal.
prove, so he doesn't
Yeah,
have any,
yeah,
anxiety during the game.
yeah.
Last thing with the balls was that an alliance did get broken. Vance and Tyler, the strong people, Vance
Mm-hmm.
freaked out last second, and he targeted his ally, and, I mean, stuff like that happens, but if I was Tyler, I'm not gonna trust you anymore. You may
I
now know I don't
agree.
trust
I
you,
agree.
but
Tyler
yeah.
Tyler definitely was giving him the you know what's up now, bro. Don't even
Yeah.
act like it. Like
Yeah, and Tyler's gonna have to keep that in mind in future games, but keep your enemies close. So, the
Mhm.
next game was the balance game, and I thought this was the hardest game by far. Basically, you had to pair up with
Yeah.
somebody, you got to pick your opponent, and then there was this giant candy heart that was weighted, and they got to feel how heavy it was, and then each round this felt like a Mario Party mini game, by the way.
Look me. Oh, it
Yeah,
was candy?
yeah, well, I don't know, it looked like candy,
Look,
but
I was like, I thought it was the glass, like from the red glass
oh,
ball.
well, they were calling that ball candy, that's why I thought of it, but it is
Oh, oh,
whatever you
sorry.
wanna put it, but their hearts would be broken, which I thought was, like, a cute, thing, it looked like there
Mm-hmm.
was gems in there, but basically, each
Yeah, I
round,
did
they'd
see
have
those
to put
too.
a rock on there, and then once the scales got tipped out of their favor, they were eliminated, but this was a fun one. What did you think about this challenge?
I thought it was interesting that nobody wanted to go up against the Ninja Warrior.
I didn't get that because what does Ninja Warrior have to do with
And
being
that's why I
able
was like,
to
I thought it
understand
was just
weight?
so funny. Well, mind you, I mean, that was when they had to choose before they kind of knew what was going to go down. But, because they had to pair up. But I thought that was interesting because he gives me like the Tawana, if you will. Like, like
And Tawana is not as good at challenges as you would expect her to be. Her strength really was the social game. When you really
yes,
think about it, she was not
yes,
good at those games.
yes, yeah.
I think the only aspect where maybe someone Ninja Warrior would come into play is if the balance was literally an endurance game, like in season
Exactly. And
1.
I think that
Yeah,
that was kind of the reason why people got like the scary bones, you know what I'm saying?
but
Because
they showed it
they
was a
didn't know what the
scale.
challenge was going to be, but they were like, well, shit. I mean, like,
It
so
was a Gemini
he
scale.
or he's either the Tawana or the Akira of the season 2.
Yeah,
Like as far as like the physicality part, but like or kind of like a combo 2 in 1. Because like
yeah.
people weren't afraid of Akira per se, like
They were
intimidated,
mindful.
but they were just like fuck,
Yeah,
gotta watch out for him depending on what the
yeah.
challenge is. But people were afraid of Tawana. And like people are
Yes, they were.
afraid of the Ninja Warrior, and they're
Yeah,
like, "Damn, we got to watch out for him." So that's why I'm,
yeah.
comparing him like that.
Yeah.
Double down.
So this game went pretty it was a fun game to watch. I don't have a lot of comments on it, but we had OGs make it through. We had Mia made it through this challenge. I think that was it. I
Yeah.
think Mia, but then we
Jeremy
lost
took a fall.
Jeremy took a fall.
Hmm.
And I think that was it. It was just Jeremy and Mia that did this game, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Jeff was
Yeah,
he
and the
was
others
in
did the blocks. So, I mean, there was
yeah,
a cute little story with the nerdy girl and the
yeah.
cute girl. I thought that was fun, but I mean, overall, this was a good game. Not a lot to say though. So,
Hmm.
the next game was the bluff game. Now, this challenge, immediately I could tell it was inspired by this Korean horror short film that I'd seen,
Hmm.
actually on TikTok, I'd seen it, where everybody has a symbol behind them, and
Hmm.
the only way you can figure out your symbol and not be murdered, what or
Unalived.
unalived or whatever TikTok says, is I
Unalived
hate that shit so much. Oh my god.
is so funny to me, but yeah.
Is wild. So basically, you have to trust someone in there that they're gonna give you your color, and if you go to the wrong color, you're out.
Hmm.
Now, this was the only game that we saw that I was like, "There is a problem with this game." And there
Yeah.
was a major flaw, and the flaw was because people were complaining that everyone was playing it fair. Look, there was like what 30 people in this challenge. Odds are someone's going to tell you the truth when there's that many people and you can team
Mhm.
up. Honestly, you only need one person that you really, really trust. Like if you and I were in there, I don't care what anyone else has to say. I'm just going to ask you, what's my color? And
Yeah.
you're going to tell me the truth, and I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been I feel like if there would have been some kind of way to make it where, like, okay, you don't know what color you have and you have to go on the circle and hope that you're right. Like, even that would have been better because it would have been like, or like,
Or maybe you could only
let's say
ask
all the
certain
let's say all the
people.
circles on the floor were gray, but
Yeah.
everybody had a color circle in the back. So then everybody's talking like, okay, well, what color you have? What color you have? And then like all those individual people had to like go to one of the circles and hope that that was their color. But then like, and it would
Yeah.
be like one round, and like whoever, or like until they got to have like whoever was on the wrong one,
I think
that's
if
what they
they had
got.
divided them up and made them go in, like, 5 at a time or something like that, they would have been a little bit more cutthroat. The only person that they really, like, all agreed to knock out of there was
Was
Kareem,
Karim
and, I mean,
Habibi.
I gotta give them kudos. I gotta give them kudos because the fact that all of them worked together to get him to pick the wrong one, that was impressive. Uh, but I will say, I think
And
tunnel
Tyler had a little
vision.
bit in that too. He was like,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
He's like, what? You're talking to me. I was like, okay, Tyler with the acting skills. I see you.
That was funny. And I have heard people are not happy with how this game ended because it was random. I didn't like that either. But I have heard from some of the Beast Game Season 2 contestants that there
Mhm.
was another option. There was a cutthroat round that they could have done, but for some reason they weren't allowed to do it. If you are on season 2 and you compete in that challenge, please give us clarity so that we can set the record straight, as Queen would say, on what the download was. Because I did think that luck was a very lame way to go out, and that's just my opinion. But I mean, at the end of the day, they chose it. It wasn't
It's
production's fault.
like, yes, but then like I just think that the auxiliary game that they should have had like for a backup should have been maybe, not to say like red light, green lightish, but it should have been like another sort of color game that they could have just, changed the board
They
like
could
on
have
the
done 4
floor,
corners,
you
and they
know.
had one person could have been a captain, and they do 4 corners, and then you could have had people be like, "I'm on this one, I'm on this one," and then based on what they're saying, maybe the bluffing comes into play. I don't know, but that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Um,
just random thoughts,
but it
But I
was
mean,
still entertaining. They did a nice
yeah,
job. It's just this was probably the only one that there was a little bit of a fuck up. So the last one that leads us into episode 3 is the blocks. So this time they
yeah.
have taken the blocks, they've given them the mega mushroom from Mario and made
I
them
love that.
gigantic. So they were split into 2 teams. This is the first team game we're really seeing, which I love me a team game. That was what people said. Oh, this was luck. You had no strategy. I'm sorry, but when you got to choose your team, and a big thing in this game is understanding your competition and which team you should go on. It's almost like horse racing, betting on a horse.
Yeah.
So the
You got to
smartest
know how to
episode.
size them. You got to know how to size people up. And a lot of
Exactly.
people don't have, either they don't have that skill or
Yeah.
they don't think that it applies in the game when it does.
Yes, they think it's not important. Like I remember on my team, we had all the Avengers, we had Tawana, like we had my group that I all trusted. I was like, this is the main characters. We're not going home. And that might have just been arrogance, but it worked out. We didn't.
Yeah.
So
But no, there's a little
yeah.
truth to it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
smart versus strong. The smart guy seemed to be leaning into picking OGs on his team. There was a lot of
Yeah.
OGs
And
in
I was
this
just
game.
like, okay, I didn't understand that strategy. I'm
It
not
was
even going to
giving
lie.
fanboy. I'm not even gonna hold you because
Yeah. Because I was just like, and I'm like, okay, the people you're picking, like, you're not even, like, how
I
does
would
this
s
make
I
sense?
would say the only aspect of picking all OGs is smart, is in this in team challenges, team unity is more important than skill, in my opinion, because you can have
Agreed.
all.
If
Yeah,
if he was coming from a social standpoint or like a wisdom standpoint, okay, yeah, I get it. But like
I don't think he
it
was
was
though.
more, it was the challenge was asking more for like from that. Like more than that. You know what I mean? The challenge was
Yeah.
asking more than that. So I felt like he could have chosen maybe individuals for other reasons. But or I mean, who knows why he chose him? Maybe he had an idea with for everybody when he chose him. Who knows? I
Well, that's
mean,
up
Gage
for
was a good
yeah.
choice because he was tall. I
No,
thought
he
that
was an
was I
amazing choice.
yeah, I thought that that was really good, but I just don't
Yeah.
think they utilized him in the right way.
No, exactly. So, I mean,
Mhm.
Pokemon Master, I think that was who it was. I think it was 11.
You keep saying it's the
That's what I
specific
remember.
Pokemon Master.
He's the Pokemon Master. He wanted to be the very best like no one ever was, but I guess he
Okay,
wasn't because he
gotta
didn't
catch 'em
win.
all. By the way, when that
Pokemon?
game came out on the phone, that was
I loved it. I mean, I got Pikachu right here
yeah,
representing
I love that
NYC.
game. That was a good
Yeah.
game. Just so you know, we're nerds too. It's okay.
Yeah. But if you ever wanna set the record straight, send us a DM, let us know what went into your decision making because we would like to know.
I would definitely like to know. Come talk to me. Talk to Queen.
Yeah. But the strong guy had a much better perspective. I mean, he was going for strong people, but he did throw in the smart ones. I think ultimately a good team for this challenge specifically, number 1, having that team unity.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
need to have one person that is able to delegate everyone's roles and everyone be able to work like a well-oiled machine. But then
like a
you need to
bike.
have
Yep.
yes. And then you need to have strong people that can run the blocks and won't get tired. They have good endurance and stamina. You need to have people that are good at climbing. So when it's time to switch, they can get on top. And lastly, you need some tall people. You need some
Hmm.
people that are going to be able to use their jump and their height to get
Yep.
that flag when the time comes.
Yeah. See, and I think that if it was, I think the pink team could have won had they had used Gage in the final moments to get the flag because I don't. And then also, I thought the problem that I was upset about was they were like, jump, jump. And I was like, bro, I was like, the angle that you guys are looking at is making it seem like he's close enough. But then when the camera angle came up, when it was more level to him, I was like, he's not going to make that.
No,
And
and and if he misses, it's gonna fuck his legs up when you're jumping that high, like,
because
and once his legs are fucked up, it's done.
that platform with the foam, it's soft. He's
Yes,
not
and
jumping off the
you're
hard
cushioning
ground
down.
where he's
Yes,
going to get the most height. He's jumping
yes,
off of a soft platform that he's not going to be able to jump back on because it's going to tumble. Like, you know
and
what I'm saying? Like, because of
it's
the inertia
dangerous.
from him moving is definitely going to cause, for the, for at least most
Yeah,
of it to fall down, if
and
not all of it.
if he misses, it's a wrap because then your whole stack is gonna get knocked
Every
over.
bit. But miss or not, if he came back down, like I said, just the momentum, the force from his body hitting that block would have shaken, gone all the way down to the base and back up. And their build was not stable.
No, not at all. So
Mm-mm.
I did notice that basically they were building a tower like we did in season 1 where they had to have the red block at the bottom so that
Right,
way they
exactly.
couldn't
They had a
pile it up.
starting point.
Yeah,
Yep.
which was smart because I think everyone would have just piled up a bunch of blocks at the bottom, which would have been smart. And then you have to build it looks like the same exact blocks we had, but just supersized. I think I heard one of them, I think it was Tawana, said something about a staircase. You don't need a staircase. All you need is you need to use those like bridge type blocks to leave
Hmm.
room for somebody to be able to climb up. And if and I think the best move would have been even if someone's not tired yet, don't wait until they're exhausted to have them switch out. Do it in thirds. Like, oh, you're a third of the way, have someone switch. And that way there's no chance it'll fall. And also that person has the endurance to lift the blocks high. And you know what, too? Have your main person, the other two that are going to climb up later, go take a nap. Go to the
Not
dorm.
gonna take a nap.
Go take a
Let me say,
nap.
I don't know if that would have worked. I don't know if that would have worked because if you have too many people going up and down, like I said, though it was foam. This is not a
Yeah,
solid structure. So just the
yeah,
body weight, no matter how light or heavy you are,
yeah,
is going to move. And it's like you would have to really, really, really trust who you're gonna send up and down. So like
yeah.
multiple people going up and down my tower, I wouldn't have been for that. Okay, I'm just telling you
I
right now.
think three is a good thing because
Two,
they only ended up doing
two,
two. Two at the
two. For
minimum. I
me,
think
two.
three is safe. If they're really feeling it, then yeah, do two. But
Two people to
yeah,
build and one person to get at the most.
yes, yes.
At the most.
I think slow and steady was the way to go. I mean, clearly this challenge went into the following night. I think the biggest problem was that people
The
were
following
rushing.
morning. It
The
started at night.
morning,
It went into
excuse
the
me.
morning.
And
It
these games rolls like that. They will
yeah, it
form
reminded me of
overnight.
Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, no, it did. But that's
Yeah.
why I say the people not doing anything should have just go take a nap because odds were the challenge was going to go a long time. So now you've got the
Mhm.
motherfuckers that are drenched in sweat, exhausted from staying up all night, and you've got people fresh, raring to go. They just got
Yeah,
ready, tucked
yeah.
in. Yeah,
Mm,
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a
Yeah,
good call out. So if
yeah.
yeah, if we're gonna talk about it like in terms of long over time, okay, depending on how many hours, three people, okay, okay, I
It's a
see you,
long
I see
time,
you.
and you know that they had more time than we see because these games last a very, very long time.
That is
So,
true. That's one of
it's
the perceptions that
yeah.
really trick the audience that I kind of love because it's
Yeah,
like,
me too, me
it's
too.
like, go ahead and apply. You think you can do
Yeah.
it? Go ahead and apply.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you think it's all done like that? No, babe, it takes a
Hmm.
long time, but it's
Hmm.
you had enough people on the team where you could say, "These are our runners, these are our climbers, these are our, handlers," and when you have it's kinda like on a basketball. Okay, we have our first heat, go in, go kill it, guys, and then you got the others on the bench drinking their water with the water boy. Like, everyone just needed to know their role, know their place, and when you're not
Yeah.
going there's something to be said about taking a break from the game. That's one thing I regret is that I didn't take a lot of breaks and you get burnt out. And when you spend so much time worrying and exhausting yourself, you're not going to perform your best in the game. So I think that was ultimately what led to the demise of the pink team.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think lack of leadership and lack of strategy.
Yeah.
I think that was really the reason why the pink team went out. But we have the top 50
Already, man.
already
Already.
after season two,
3
episode
episodes
two.
in.
Sorry,
Yeah.
already after episode two. You
And
can
I
edit
love it. I
that.
wasn't sure how these challenges were gonna work out with less people, but essentially, they took the amount that they cut it by the first time and just divided it by 10, and
Mm-hmm.
it works. I think
Mm-hmm.
this has been fabulous the way it's gone, and I'm excited to get to really know the people that survive past this next episode.
I'm curious to see how fast we're gonna get. And then what was also really interesting? The lovers were
Oh, yeah, them.
you
They
know
were so happy that they both made it through.
they that was
Did
so
you
cute at
notice
the
that they
end. They
did
were like,
different games?
"Is that him?" I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
girl, you're so cute about your
Oh
man."
my
And then
gosh.
for him to be like, you know what? I just went through that challenge, and I was like, I gotta make her mine. I was like, you know what? You go ahead, Pooh. I was like, you go
But
ahead
I
and tell the
believe
world how to
it.
go ahead and get a lady. I like that. I
I'm
like that.
not
Go get
well,
your girl, Boo. Go get your girl.
listen, they're both they're both very attractive. I
They
like
are.
both
They're
of
very
them.
cute. They're very
I
cute.
like both of them on the show as characters. I've enjoyed Monica and, JT are their names. I've enjoyed both of them as characters. It's so funny too because I think JT was doing a live on TikTok that I bumped into before the season started, and someone asked him about if he was gonna be in a relationship. He's like, "Well, you'll see on the show," and I just thought it was so funny.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so,
Okay, there we
I mean,
clocking
but
you.
the jury is still out if this is a showmance or a romance. Now, we have to wait and see
That
on that.
we'll have to wait and see. So
Yeah, and there
we
is a
got
difference,
multiple
y'all.
cliffhangers.
Yeah. So, but I've gotta give them kudos though, before we jump into the next thing. Thing that players make a mistake of is they may put themselves in a challenge that they can't do in order to stay with their friends, and it gets them
Hmm.
eliminated. These 2 were smart, and clearly Monica thought she would be better at one thing, he thought he's better at the other, and they both made it through. So now we're in episode 3 with the top 50, and
Yes.
we started this episode again with them showing the alliances being built, and it looks like the strong people have a strong numbers advantage over the smarts and the OGs. There's only three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like less than 20 of the smarts. There's only three OGs.
Yeah.
And yeah, the strong is they got a strong hold.
And yeah, and ironically, the only OGs left are, in my opinion, the biggest threats, the ones that made the most money. You have Mia,
Literally.
Jeff, and JC,
Literally.
because Tawana, Dino, Courtney, and Gage all went out that last game.
Yeah, which I thought was so funny. So when they picked the captains for each team, they were
Mhm.
like, they did the little fake me out, like acting like JC was going to be captain, and they were like,
Yeah.
no. And then I
Oh,
was
I thought
like,
that was funny, yeah. They're
good answer, good answer.
They're having fun. I mean, JC, like, I mean, his moment with JT, where JT was like, "I don't know about you, bro," with JC, I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. I
but
agree.
according to Monica, she said they have some, in my opinion, fucked up belief that JC, he took the money last season, but he wouldn't take the money to eliminate people. I'm sorry, but even if you do believe that, actions speak louder than words. Do you really want to try to prove that theory? Like, really?
So you won't take money as long as you want to eliminate people, but you won't leave any money for someone that you call your daughter. Okay, got it. Yeah, that makes
That's the
sense.
main thing. He didn't leave money for her, like his
That makes
daughter,
sense.
quote unquote. So I don't
Yeah.
know, but JC is a strong competitor, and in a team, there's a difference between, like you said earlier, a
Yeah.
team versus an alliance. He's a good teammate, maybe
Yeah.
just not an alliance mate.
And see, I can say the same for Tawana. To me and Tawana,
Yeah.
I think that we could be teammates on certain things because we understand what the objective is. But like, as far as like a personal alliance, like nah, not really. But
Yeah.
yeah, same way with her because that's what she did, in my opinion, on the train challenge. Because even though we weren't close, and things like that, I feel like she was like in her mind, like I would be breaking my word to you if I eliminated you, but I told you how 3 episodes
I
that
think
you're
that
going to
she
be in the
had
top 10.
I think that
So
she had loyalties, but she also was, like, very, strategic, like, I think she knew it was time to take the Avengers out, um, but we're seeing here now with these teams that it's coming to a point where even if you're in an alliance, it doesn't mean that you're gonna stick with them for every game. Because we saw
yeah,
Ian getting I believe it was Ian getting, it's very reminiscent of, like, baseball, getting poached by another, team, and they said, "We need strong people." And Ian's just like, "Sorry, team, I gotta go with the best players." Uh,
yeah. I mean, that was a little shady,
it
though.
was. Yeah.
I'm just saying because if I was thinking, like, if my game show bestie was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be with you," and then I turned around and she was on another team, but like it's like if we had already talked about being on a team together, then okay, so what
Yeah.
happened? Like, I need you to explain yourself. Set the record straight, please.
I mean, because the record shows no matter how many people I talk to or people accusing me
hmm
of being in everyone's being friends with everybody, every challenge I stuck with the same alliance and I was loyal to that. And
hmm
I think once you go off, it shows, where you stand. But ultimately, if you think your team is not going to get you a W, it's what you gotta do, but you gotta live with the consequences.
That part.
Mhm. So ultimately, the challenge is a wipeout style obstacle course where each team is competing. They don't know what the rules of the obstacle course will be before they do it. All the only power they have is a wheel will be spun, and if it lands on their team, they get to pick their opponents.
Yeah, which I thought was very simplistic.
Yes.
I loved I love the random advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, the uncalculated advantage because that was kind of cool because or the uncalculated demise depending on, who
What
you
way you
chose.
looked at it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
What I liked about this was that there was still a variety that we got the first 2 episodes, we had variety in what the games were, so there was different ways to look at the strategy of it, and I love the
Mhm.
strategy.
Mhm.
But this time it was 1 game, it's just
With
played in different ways.
multiple layers.
Yes,
Yes.
which was
Yes.
fabulous. So you've
Yes.
got the first round was simple, it was team race, but the catch was, it wasn't just about getting your whole team across as fast as possible, it was about if anybody fucks up, your whole team is gone.
Baby, three strikes you're out. No.
No, it's only
One
1
fall,
strike.
everybody's gone.
Yep, and to make it harder, oh, it's gonna start raining. Mother Nature gave a big "fuck you" to the beasties,
I forgot about that. I
which
forgot
made it
about that.
10
It did
times
start
harder.
raining.
Yeah,
Yeah, it did start raining, which, it was so funny because, like, I thought about while I was watching, I was like, okay, so how would I jump on there? And then, like, somebody, I remember they were like legs spread out, arms spread out, like, and I was like, yeah, I would have jumped like
that's the best
that.
way because it ensures you're not gonna slide off and you're gonna
hmm
bear hug the shit. So in this challenge, there was something to be said about maybe just not running the race at all and letting the other team. Because odds are, do you really think all 5 of the team would have made it on slippery foam? Do you think they all would have made
Depending
that?
on who you chose, yes. Now, mind you, if you were the other team that didn't get to choose who you were going against, if you were the one that was chosen, with the idea that okay, we're going to be stronger than you, we're bigger than you, we're better than you, then that is going to be an intimidation factor. You know what I mean? Just looking at your competition alone, so that
Yeah,
is a way to to keep yourself in the game. That the smart people, I feel like they did pick up on it. Like okay, let's wait and see if some of them fall, but I think the nerves got to some people,
absolutely.
especially. Oh Lord. Okay. All
In the
right. It's
next one. So that game ended where the white team won. I was very happy because Mia was on that team and she got a lick back. Mia was throwing hella shade to the guy. I thought it was funny, and she ended up
yes,
coming on top.
yes,
It was good.
yes.
So
She
the
did.
next
She did.
game, there was a bit of a like a macho thing going on where he was like saying that they wanted to go against the all women team. And then you got these buff ladies, these Amazonian warriors who
Sydney, what happened?
I know,
We
and
were
they
rooting for you, Sydney. We were all
it
rooting
was
for
their
you.
moment to prove that women can shut these men up. So it looked like they were doing they were doing great. But then you have Sydney, who, mind you, Sydney is a Survivor great. She came in fourth place on her season. She was a dominant competitor. She's also a bodybuilder. There's old photos
Yeah,
of her out there where she is ripped. And I don't know what, she just froze.
bro. Sydney was
Yeah.
like,
And this was the one game where you did need to rely on your team. It didn't matter if you made a mistake. I'm dead. That was her. No, that really was her. She could have been. She probably was like that as long as we've been doing this episode.
let me tell you the funniest shit ever though.
That's gonna be a
Jimmy was like,
meme.
"What happened?" She was like, "Oh, I was just in my zone." And she was like, "I just." She's like, She's like, "I looked down, and then I looked up, and it was like, girl, look down. You look down.
Why are you looking
You were
down?
stuck."
She was in a trance. I don't know what
Yes, I
happened.
was like,
She got
look down. I
possessed
said,
by the
"Oh Lord."
spirit
I
of the
said, "Oh baby."
Feastables. I don't know. All those Feastables put her in a coma.
I
It
don't
was,
know what happened or where she was, what she was looking at, or I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what I'm like, Sydney. Like, we need you to set the record straight, honey. What the fuck happened? Like,
Yeah,
I need to know.
please let us
Like, what?
know.
Like, were you afraid of falling in the water? Like, did you just like what? Well, I
It
need
could
to
have
know
been.
what was going through your mind, because baby,
It was giving very dissociating. And you got to remember
yes,
too, there is
yes,
no way that that guy cleared that challenge in like less than 5 minutes. It probably took him a minute. So she must have just been standing there the whole time. Like, that was insane. And it was very
yeah,
sad because I was rooting for Sydney. It's been a while since she's been on TV. I was a big fan of her on Survivor Co Wrong.
Survivor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that she was in the running for 50, the All-Star season that just came. And because they turned her down, she ended up doing this. So it would have been nice to see her go a little further, but it is
Yeah,
what it is. Um,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so the
But
next,
shout out to my girl Sonia. She's the one that's giving a little spice and backing it up. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
I
I like
liked
you,
her
boo.
too. I was so
Yeah,
sad to see this team go.
I you
They were
know,
fun.
I put it like this. I enjoyed watching. I
Yeah,
enjoyed watching, like, just like not being, playing, not that, like, with her not being a, competitor, and just playing against other people. It was cool
yeah.
to watch.
So in the next 3 rounds, I mean, in my opinion, I wasn't all that enthralled by the next 3 rounds, as far as like the people, but I did think they were a fun format. So it was pick a captain to represent the team. You had one person going. Uh, they did their thing, whatever. I really don't remember who made it through.
It
Honestly,
was Jeff's team, but here's the thing. But
oh, it was
Jimmy
Jeff's
gave them
team.
options. Jimmy gave them an option to trade teams, and not just trade like
Oh,
one
that's
for
right.
one. He
Yes.
gave them the option for anybody. So, like, what if, like, you know what I thought? I said, what if one person's team had everybody go to another
Oh, well, yeah,
side?
would they have allowed that? Like, I didnn't understand, like, would they have to switch with somebody, or could it
No,
just
it
be,
was
"Oh,
you.
we all
He
dogpile on
was
one
like, if
team?"
one of you just wants to come over here, you can do it. And then, so when I thought it was, kudos to Jeff. I thought it was so cool. So, like Colin Kaepernick, when he was like,
Oh,
they were
when he
like,
took the
Jeff,
knee.
and then he took the knee. I was like, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah,
You're
and that
showing
was
what loyalty's
power.
all about, bro.
Yeah, and that's power. That's why he's dangerous. He has that leader quality to him. But that was
Mhm.
pretty epic. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, his team ends up winning. They clearly were. Sue is the last reality star that I can tell is standing. She was on Survivor 47. She was on his team.
Hmm.
They made it through. So in the next game, the twist was that it was like the first round, but um, this time there was a bribe. So do you risk your team making it through to snag, what was it? Was it like oh, it was $100,000 each. So
It
would
was.
you,
It was a. It was. There were $300,000 bags.
yes. Now would they have gotten to keep it if their team lost?
I believe so. I believe so. Here's the thing. So the question that I had was, so is it like all of them split that money, or whoever goes to get it gets the money? That was
That's
the
a big
only.
difference.
That was I was like that, because I think his name was Nick. I don't know, the bigger guy with the beard,
Yeah.
and he was like, he kept
I'm
like
not gonna
looking
hold
at it, and I
you.
was like,
Yeah.
because they had such a lead. I thought somebody. I was disappointed. I thought somebody
I'm
was
not
going to
gonna
go for the
hold you.
money.
$100,000 is worth it. And in my mind, even if my team doesn't end up making it through, if I got to keep that shit for me, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do it. Especially since we have this lead. Why not
Yeah.
do it? It's
Yeah,
not
I
like it
mean,
was
but shit,
ten
it's still
thousand
a hundred
dollars,
thousand dollars divided by five people, even if worst case
twenty
scenario.
thousand dollars right
Worst
there.
case scenario.
And you're going on there. You're only getting $1,000 minimum. Like if I ever did the show again, I want to walk away with something. Like,
And you know what?
yeah.
I was just thinking, I was like, I think one of the biggest differences so far from season one, episode 1 and 2 versus season two, episode 1 and 2,
Mhm.
or 1 through 3, is where there were a lot more prizes given out very
Yeah.
early to more people. Not just, I don't want to say just because there was more people, but I just feel like there were more prizes given out
Well, you know
early.
what? They didn't
More bribes too.
they must have dropped a lot of money on the first episode with the million immediately, then giving out like $100,000 a multiple times. So it makes sense that it is that way, but I fucks with it.
Yeah.
So,
No, no, no. Definitely not
yeah,
not saying a bad, not a bad change, just the, it makes me curious for what's going to
curious
be
change.
left. It makes me curious for what's going to be offered for the top 25 and beyond.
Oh, it's
That's what
probably
that's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking it's gonna be substantial.
Yeah,
Um,
I hope so.
so the
For
final so the
everybody, I do.
Yeah, me too. So the final game is big twist. All right, you teamed up with the best people. Now you got to face them. It's only going to be the first 5 that make it through. And you also get the whatchamacallit,
The Q-tips.
the Q-tip.
The gladiator
Yes.
Q-tips.
It was
The
an
ones you got to
interesting
hold like that.
Yeah. So it's an interesting strategy because you had members sitting at the front. My thing was that first guy, you got the lead. Why are you not sitting there knocking over every other person until no one's left? Why? Like, I wonder if maybe they said you're not allowed to do that.
Maybe so, because even just like prime example, like with the blocks challenge, like the one guy, he was struggling to get on the red cube, so but
Yep.
like nobody helped him. So I'm wondering if there were certain restrictions we
Might have
just
been
didn't
a
know about.
rule. And
Yeah,
I
it might have
mean,
been a
that is a
rule.
good rule because there could be a point where people just don't decide they don't wanna go. It
Yeah,
could happen. So it does make sense, but it was a ve that was it was my favorite of all of the rounds. I like when people are in control of their own fate, and it also brings, the question of, do you act selfish in this moment and say, "Fuck you, I'm going now," and if you don't like it, too bad, or
yeah.
do you be nice and wait?
The one thing that I think is a reflection that I feel like maybe previous Beast gamers and current Beast gamers are going to agree on is that how you are in your real life is definitely a reflection. So if you're not aggressive, there's like either times where you're like your
Yeah,
true self, but then you have that, what, damn it, I'm going this time. So there's a lot of
definitely.
like moments that I feel like I wonder if the way that the characters are throughout the episodes, I wonder if that's how they really act. So then it's kind of like, oh, so you're not normally that way, and that shit worked out for
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
so now there's 25 of them left in the game, and
mm-hmm.
basically you can tell production does not want a repeat of last season when nobody took the million. Do you think that they were anticipating no one to take it the first time?
Absolutely not. I
No.
don't even think they were anticipating it getting to a million, to be quite
No.
honest.
No, I think that they thought someone would hit it sooner. But
Because I'm
I
not gonna lie,
yeah.
if I had went up there and it had gotten all the way to the 1 million, I probably would have been looking at anyone else, and if they would have flinched to take it, I would
Mhm.
have. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have made me nervous. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like so,
It was like a standoff.
yeah, because of the way the atmosphere was and the energy was, like when it got to that million, I can't say no. I would not have taken the money. I'm not gonna be like like
Yeah,
dishonest with myself and say that.
disingenuous, yeah.
Yeah, but what I can say is I just can't see myself screwing the people that were in line over though. So and you know what I mean. So I think it's like I would have had to prepare myself better socially in order to do something like that. It would have to been a,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna do this, but me, you, and you, I'm gonna split the money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it would,
Exactly.
because I didn't care for everybody in the line, but I
No,
had
of course not.
specific people in there that I would not have screwed over. So that's the reason
No,
why I'm like, would I have wanted to press the button for the million? Oh yeah,
of course.
absolutely. But if pressing that button meant that I would have got rid of my game show best friend, and she wouldn't have been able to like reap any of the benefits. No, that's not what I came there for. So
I'll put it on the record that if I had volunteered myself instead of Tawana and I got to go up there, the first thing I would have done is I would have been looking at Harrison. Because at that point, I knew who Jeremy was and knew Jeremy was very in his faith. He's not going
mhm.
to take it. Dino has already made millions in his time as a fireman, so he's not going to take it. Harrison was the only wild card. And
He
truthfully,
was a major wild card.
yeah, and truthfully, standing down there, I sent Tawana up because I knew her ego was not gonna let her take it because
Correct.
she was there
Correct.
to prove that her husband was a good dude, that she was a good dude because people were looking at her sideways. She also wanted to do something very admirable with the money, like open a nonprofit. And if she had
Mm-hmm.
used money stealing from people, it wouldn't have been a good look. So
Yeah.
my whole strategy would have been to do what I did in the 100,000 gamble. I would have looked over at the others. I'm not going to look at Jeremy. I'm not going to look at Dino. I'm looking at Harrison and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
watch him. And for me, my number was 500. That was what my mom told me to do. And I would have looked to see if he was going to press the button once it got to 500. If it looked like he wasn't pressing it, I would have waited.
That's
And
what I'm
then,
saying. Like,
yeah,
yeah, that would have been the only reason for me,
yeah,
I think, to push the button is if, like, how the one guy in season one, episode one, he was like, I pushed the button. He was like, because she was going for it. So,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
and that was a thing, was making sure other people didn't do it, but everyone had their hands behind their back, they were not doing, so it's very obvious no one was gonna take it. So, as soon as I would have known he was not taking it, I would have just waited, and then
yeah,
to my team, I loved y'all dearly, and it would have been very hard in the moment, especially since, it was all of my best friends, but $1,000,000 is the grand prize for big shows. It's a life-changing money. That is an amount of money that you can say, "I went to Beast Games. I'm a winner. I
yeah,
won Beast
yeah,
Games getting
yeah, for
$1,000,000."
sure.
So at the end of the day, that's why I came there. I would have taken it. And I think anyone who it was of sound mind at that point would have taken it. I think honestly,
I
if
think they were of sound mind.
I
What do
don't
you
think so.
mean?
I think
I
their
do.
ego
I
was in the
really
way.
no, 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 no. I really want people to understand. Taking $1 million, first of all, means that you're walking away with $500,000 anyway after taxes, about 490,000, really, depending on where you
Still
live
a
in.
great amount of money.
Great amount of money, right?
Yeah.
So then you have that. Okay, you have what's taken out after taxes. Truthfully speaking, like I'll put it to you like this: most of the people have never seen that amount of money. They don't even know what to do with it. They
Yeah.
haven't even, you know what I'm saying? So
I
the
think that's why
ideology
people
that's
were not
going through their
taking it.
mind,
Yeah.
they're not ready to receive it.
You know
So
what? That is so real because
that,
I
like,
didn't take the
do you know what I'm saying?
100,000
So
because
they
yeah,
are in their sound mind because they're still where they were, not
yes.
where they want to be.
You know what? That is such a good point because now I probably would have taken the $100,000 bribe because I have $40,000 I have to pay for college. I didn't have a number in my head at that point. So that is a good point
Hmm.
that you don't realize how much money a million really is. So that might be why someone doesn't press the button. But ultimately, I've said this
Hmm.
if she had taken the money and I got knocked out because someone got a million, I wouldn't have had any hard feelings. And if I ever do go on a
Yeah,
show
now
with
you took a
someone,
million, bro. Yeah,
no.
like I mean,
If if you and
eh.
I are in that situation, queen, take the money,
That's
please.
that
Take the
to me is
money.
totally different than what JC, went through. But the thing that I want
Totally
to go ahead
different.
and compare is, so we had teams of 60 in season 2, it's teams
Of
of
5.
5.
So it's a lot
So
more intimate.
it is a lot more intimate, and but at the same time there's a lot less feelings involved.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm
It's
curious to
easier.
see who's gonna hit the. But I think I'll put it to you like this. Let's take bets, or I guess we can say, I'll put it like this. I think someone pressed the button this time. I
Well,
do.
they said it. They said someone did press the button.
Oh, I didn't know that. So then I'm just honest in my answer.
It was
That's
how
fine.
they ended the episode. Well, because I think they wanted people to know we're not bullshitting this time because everyone I have talked to in my real life was pissed that no one took the money. They thought that it was like,
Yeah, a lot
yeah.
of people were like, "No,
They were
what?"
like, "How privileged are you to not take the money?" Which, I mean, it's a lot to say, but people felt like you have to be really privileged to turn down $1,000,000, and I do to some extent agree, but at the same time, it's different when you're out there.
It's
Um,
just different. It's just, it's
yeah,
like, yeah, you say all that because you still have, your child yelling in your ear and your dog, your boss is,
yeah,
sending you emails. And you know what I mean? Like you have all of these stimuluses that's going to remind you of, damn, I'm in debt. Damn, I hate my life. Or damn, I hate my
yeah.
job. Or damn, I hate having so many kids, whatever people's situations are.
And
So,
Jimmy made it a point this time to remind everyone what they were
mm,
there for before they did the challenge, which was a great idea
yes,
because not only
that was a
does
good
it
call
stop
out.
people from being bitter assholes, which people were bitter assholes on Beast Games when they got eliminated from these things, but number
Yeah,
2,
all the
it
way from
yeah,
Vegas through Canada,
Vegas
through
was worse.
Once we got to Panama, it was kind of like, okay, we chilled out.
Yeah,
But like, yeah,
but
yeah,
pe
yeah.
but it
Vegas was out of this
reminded
world. Like the
yeah.
one dude with the tattoos that wanted to fight the girl because she
Yes,
jumped. Like that was too much,
yes.
bro. That's too much.
He was
Like
a
I might have cussed
jackass.
Dino out, but I never wanted to fight his ass. Like,
No, but just if I was to take a bet, I would say Jeff's not gonna take the money. He's already got 5,000,000. Like,
hmm
he's not gonna take it. I do think Pink Team should have sent up Mia because I don't think Mia would have taken it. That JT guy, he was a little arrogant in the oh I've been Jim is the guy in the relationship. JT is the short guy. I feel
hmm
like he might take it. He's got the attitude of like a fuck you thing. Um, but also the guy that was a traitor that defected from his team. He's up there. Tyler, he may
hmm
take the money. So I'm between those two. What do you think?
I don't know. I think what there was a girl.
Hannah, who
I
Hannah
think
is
yeah.
yeah, Hannah is she plays like fan versions of Survivor and all that stuff.
hmm
So she is a gamer and she's thinking these things. So it wouldn't surprise me if she took the money.
Yeah, I don't know. I just for some after watching it one time, I thought Hannah pushed the button for some reason.
Could be.
Like,
I
yeah,
would be happy for her. I mean, I'd sent a
yeah,
message. I hope you took the money because she's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So we end on that cliffhanger, and someone took the money. We don't know who. There will be 21 people left. And next episode is the island episode, and it's very special because they are collaborating with Jeff Probst and
From
Survivor.
Survivor, we
This is
finally got
so
our
cool.
moment.
This is
Jimmy, we
so
made it.
Yes. So this is such a big moment because Carl and the producers are big fans of Survivor, but also I'm a huge fan of Survivor. I know a lot of shit about Survivor.
Yeah,
This
Patrick is definitely a big fan of
yes,
Survivor. Like, yeah, I'm
this
gonna
is
say this.
monumental,
I think that the partnership with Survivor solidifies Beast Games as a respectable reality
legitimate
game
thing.
show.
Oh, definitely
That's it raises the bar. It
yes,
raises the bar in legitimacy for sure.
because I'm in the reality world and I'm telling you, there was not any respect towards Beast Games. It wasn't until they announced the Survivor partnership that now I see that world being like, oh yeah, Beast Games. You know, I do have to check it out. I mean, even to the fact there's a watch party that's about to go down in New York City. I
Yes.
I think it's only happening because of Survive. That's my thing. I don't think it would have gotten the same respect if they didn't do that
Mm.
partnership,
Well,
which
it
is a
doesn't matter
shame.
because either way, your girl Queen and Slightly Bitter is going to be in the building.
We will be there, so keep an eye out for us if you're in the New York City area. We'll give more information in the bio or whatever, but there is a watch party that's gonna be hosted by Sue, who is in the top 25 and was on Survivor, and there's gonna be some reality TV alums. There's gonna be a bunch of season 2 Beast Game players there. There's gonna be some season 1 players like us. So if you're in the New York City area, you need something to do on Wednesday night, go check it out.
Yeah, come see us.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this next episode, and I'm really happy that Survivor is doing it. This is really monumental. Survivor has been very on an island of its own. Like Jeff has been apprehensive of going with other shows. I know he has his own feelings of even CBS reality shows. So this is great, and I think it's a good thing not just for Beast Games, but for Survivor. There's
I
things
think
that
it's a great thing
yeah,
for reality game shows, period, though.
yes,
Because Survivor was like a part of the catalyst for one of those big reality, last
yeah,
man standing shows. So
yeah,
now you have Beast Games, which is like an evolution of it. Like I
yeah.
just feel like it's setting us up for great entertainment for the future,
Yeah,
for
and I
sure.
think both
Hands
shows have a
down.
lot to learn. They have a lot to learn from each other and can help each other. So I hope that this is not
That
just a
is true
one-time
too.
thing. I hope this does continue. And
I
they're
know
gonna
that would be
be
so cool. And
yeah,
I mean, and think about it. Survivor's been out so long that I feel like this is going to help people get, reacquainted with, Survivor. Just like some people
yes,
got reacquainted with Stranger Things. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, they're like, oh, I stopped watching after season 2, season 3, and it's like, no, bro, go back.
Well, and yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
and Survivor, people have been criticizing it for getting a little stagnant in the new era because there's a lot of
Mm,
recycled ideas. And I'm telling you, I've met Jeff, I've met the production team. They freaking love their show. They do.
yeah.
Like that's something that I will never let people take away from them.
Yeah.
So Jimmy is bright-eyed, and I think he will inspire them to take a little bit more risks. So to all of you out there that are hating, give it a
I
chance.
agree with that.
Give Beast
I agree
Games
with that.
a chance. Give Survivor 50 with Mr. Beast a chance. So I'm really excited for this season. So before we wrap, what are your closing
Yeah.
thoughts on this 3-part premiere?
Well, I can say hands down, I'm a big fan of the editing this time
Mhm.
around because I really feel like even though I don't know all the reasons why each player is there, I have an idea of how they're gonna act and who they are a little bit, and I have an idea of like, okay, well, okay, they're a top dog, they're giving main character energy. So I'm liking that I'm able to within the first 3 episodes, like already like put my mind around
Yeah.
just like some core players as opposed to associating to the challenges. Like season one
Yes.
was like, I was like, oh my god, the platforms, the blocks, the red
Mhm.
room. You're talking about all the challenges, but it was very seldom that we got to talk about each other or one another and it be on camera and it's like viewable for the audience to see. So I love that. I really feel like just in the true fashion of like, Mr. Beast, brand. I feel like I love, Beast City for season two players. I feel like it's a dope, you know, it's a dope upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, all like jealous jokes aside, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm really just excited to seeing if utilizing the city helps them in future challenges. I'm curious about that.
I think it will. It definitely creates their own mini society, and
Yeah.
it'll help keep people upbeat, so they won't be as drained after all these long filming days. And it does seem that they got more off time. We only got one off day, at least that I recall. So I think that that's great. But your point about them focusing more on the players this go around than just the challenges, I think it's to their benefit. Even
Yeah,
though
for sure.
there's a lot of players this still, or not as much now, but the first couple episodes, and we didn't get to know them as well. I still feel like have a better understanding of the identity of the cast as a whole than I did season one.
Yeah.
So what I'm most looking forward to is we're down to 21 people after the $1 million bribe. There has to be a staggering of eliminations. Like, they're clearly not going to eliminate half every episode. Like, now maybe only one person will go, or only 5 people will go in an episode. So we have 7 episodes to really get to know who
Hmm.
is in the running for this $5 million, and that is something I am very excited for Beast Games to give to us.
Not for sure. I think season one, there was a lot of social aspects that didn't get captured. So I'm curious to see who's going to be the social queen or king of season two. So,
Last thing to shout out is, if you have not checked it out yet, go to Mr. Beast's second channel, Mr. Beast 2, where he has uploaded behind the scenes footage of what it is like to live in Beast City. If you just
yes.
have not gotten enough from these newbies and you want to get a better sense of what they do in their off time when they're not doing these crazy games, or their personality, this is your chance to do so. There's also, did you see that they've been doing collaborations with other creators in Beast City and giving them mini games and stuff? That looks so fun.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was pretty cool because he did I guess after he filmed season two, he did like a collaborators video, or maybe he did it before. But yeah, I thought that was cool too. And also make sure that you check out John Uche, his post, because he is capturing all the exclusive behind the scenes footage from season one and season two.
Oh,
So
they're gonna
that's
do
gonna be
season
dope.
one?
Yeah, that's gonna be a really, really well. He's already did a whole compilation. He said that it took them umpteen amount of hours. Yeah, so it's pretty dope.
Oh, so
Um,
there's footage from season 1 that we're gonna see that we haven't seen yet?
That is what I believe I heard.
Girl,
That
I
is
want that shit. Do you know how bad I would pay money to see what my cube challenge looked like?
well, shout out to Drew. I know he's been, one of the editors on there. I know that's something that when we were actually still in B City, I know that that's something that they said they were, going to be doing with,
Fabulous.
the footage. So I think
Yeah,
that's going to be pretty cool. So like I said, I know for sure season two's on there, but I believe he said season one's included too. Yeah.
that would be great, because there's a lot of moments, like, not just myself, but there's other people that made it, like, pretty far that I think
Didn't get enough time.
no,
Just
that
didn't
at
get
least
enough
should have
time.
been shown. And another thing to point out is season 3, they did just drop the applications.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure that you go check it out. Make sure you're following Mystic Arts. Make sure that you are following Mr. Beast, of course. Make sure you
Mhm.
follow Mr. Beast Casting. Make sure you're
Yeah.
following that page because that's going to be dropping all the videos, not just for Beast games. If you want to get in the regular videos too. So yeah,
Yeah, and he's got some
and
great regular videos.
and we got to give a shout out to Ava and Ivy, Iva and Avy,
Yes. They do
Iva and
amazing
Avy,
content with
Iva,
the
Ivy and Ava. We
whatever it
got to
is.
give a
They
shout out
do
to the girls,
yeah.
for their talk show, for their podcast, and for doing all the behind the scenes on the Feastables Cafe, and more details to come.
And they just did one with Akira, and I listened to it. It was very insightful. It was amazing. Um,
Yeah.
if you're an international person, especially, definitely apply for season 3. They're looking for people from across the world. So if you were missing
Yes.
out on season 1 and 2, you're like, ah, dang, I'm not American. Well, this is your chance. And listen, my season 1 and season 2 people, they are accepting returning players. It said, put your player number. And that might be why they're pulling footage from the past to show some players that didn't get seen before,
Yeah.
because they want to know specifically you, and maybe they'll pull up something. So uh my biggest advice I would give to someone trying to get on the show is don't try to be someone you're not. Just focus on what is the best part
Yeah.
of yourself and just show them that best part of you. And
Yeah.
if you've played before, find your identity that you would want to bring on a second go. Why, like, fight for your spot. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good call out. That's a good call out for
yeah,
people that have already been in season one to season two, or maybe you've been in a previous just Mr. Beast video and you haven't gotten a call back. Like, just make sure that you stand out.
yeah,
Like, you can still be your true self, but be the best of your
the
true
best
self. Like,
version.
you
Yeah,
can't just come with your everyday. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you got to treat this like this is the presidential ball, okay? And you
yeah.
got to go put your Louis and your YSL and your Gucci and your Prada on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to put all the good shit on. You know what I'm
And
saying? Like, yeah.
understand your story. Like, this is especially if you're going for a show like even if you're not doing Beast Games,
If you
Survivor.
have a story, just to say,
Yeah.
some people don't.
Well, I would say everyone does have a story, like, even if you're not the
That one
Guinness
guy
World
said he
Record.
was just there for chains and boats.
Well, yeah, but still, he's gotta have some type of backstory. Like,
I mean, okay. Yeah, yeah.
just you
You're
gotta
right.
know who
Yeah.
you are, so apply for it. Last thing we'll shout out is, like we said earlier, there is a watch party in New York City with season 1 and
Yes.
season 2 players and other reality stars. It's with Bryce and Wen present. If you have not got your tickets already, please make sure you go get your tickets for Wednesday. It is at 6 p.m. We will be there. Season 2 players will be there. It is going to be a lot of fun. I've been to many Bryce and Wen presents events before, and they always are a really good time. So
I'm
make sure you
excited
check
to
it
be
out.
in the NYC,
Yeah,
baby.
it's going to be a great time. And make sure you tune in for episode 4 of Beast Game Smart versus Strong. It'll be dropping on Wednesday night. It is going to be Survivor 50 crossover. It is the one to watch. And we will be back next weekend to cover all of the gossip.
Period, poo. Always gonna set the record straight with you. Brr. Hold
Exactly.
on, I definitely mumbled that. Period, poo. Gonna always set the record straight with you. Brr.
I love that. So if you enjoyed this podcast episode with myself and Queen, go ahead and give us a follow button or a subscribe button down below. Like the video, or if you are listening to us on Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms, give us a review, leave a comment, do something great. I don't know. We love it, and we want to hear from you, and we want to know how we can make this the best viewing experience possible. And you can follow my personal account at SlightlyBitta on all platforms. And Queen, where can they follow you?
Listen, I'm at the Queen of Coverage on everything, all socials, website. Follow me, find me. Brr.
Mhm. And if you want to give your input to us on the next episode of this show, you can contact us on our email. We have an email open. So write into us any question that you have. It could be about season 2. It could be about season 1. It could be just a thought that you have. Email us at ogbgrecaps@gmail.com. And we will
Period,
be sure
poo.
to read your email and give you a shout out next time. So until then, I guess we're going to wrap it up. This was a great episode, Queen. I love talking to you.
Period, baby. Okay, the OGBG breakdown will be back.
Uh-huh. And I mean, until next time, make sure that you stay followed, you stay tuned, but most importantly, that you stay bitter or beastly, as we would say now,
Yeah.
I guess.
And I'm
All
gonna
right.
always show my love. Queen out.
Talk to you
Like I did
later.
the last round. Ah!